This is on video.
You look identical.
I'm literally getting one tomorrow.
You look identical to when I met you like 13 and a half years ago.
I know. I was trying
Not 13, 10 and a half years ago, rather.
I don't know. Oh, sorry about that. Yeah, I was just trying to think of when we met.
Well,
at
to the
least
best
over
of
10
my
years ago.
knowledge, it was early June, possibly like June 8th or something, 2013.
It wasn't a DZ Fest, though. It was...
No, it was before that.
Before
So,
that.
because you played DZ Fest.
Yes, yeah.
So you played the second DZ Fest. It was, I went to see the Dirty Projectors at Lincoln Hall.
Oh, yeah.
And Mikey was there, and I think I went with Diana, but I might have went with somebody else, but I'm pretty sure it was her.
Yeah.
And he was there with you and another friend. Was it
Danny Lyons?
Danny?
Yeah,
Ian?
I remember being there with Danny.
Danny? Somebody?
Well, I remember being there with Danny
Someone
and a
had red
couple
hair?
other kids. I'm trying to think. Red hair. Oh.
Man, I'm crazy.
There was you not hanging out with us.
He's like, I don't know.
No, I just can't think of who that might be.
I think we went to the early show. There was like a 7 and a 10.
Okay. I think I was at maybe the early show too.
I think we went to an early
Yeah.
show and possibly went to Buffalo Wild Wings after.
Fuck yeah.
Does this make sense now?
Did we all go to Buffalo
Yeah,
Wild Wings?
we did. I'm pretty sure we
That
did.
is unreal. That's so on brand, but
Right,
sure.
I mean,
Yeah,
I don't
like.
do
I love
much.
that. I would
We
do that
either
right
went
now.
to Buffalo Wild Wings first, then the show, then Mikey got you somehow to do a live session at my house. We hung out
Fuck
afterwards.
yeah, that was such a beautiful night.
Yeah.
Okay, yeah, we went
That's
to.
back when we actually stayed up late. Right?
Yeah.
Probably were up to like 2 a.m. doing
I mean, I
this
still
stuff.
stay up late, but
I
most of it's
definitely
just like
don't,
staring
but-
at a wall.
Just stare at walls
yeah,
still.
yeah, at night.
And you were, for those listening,
Are we going?
about 1,700 videos later,
Yeah.
which is a lot.
Uh-huh.
You were the first person I did a session with that I didn't know at all.
Really?
Like
Okay.
I never met you, never heard of you, didn't know anything about you.
Wow.
You're the first person. I had a couple before you, but it was people I knew.
Okay.
And you were the first one I did where I actually like took lighting into consideration. We placed you in a certain spot.
Yeah, yeah.
And Mikey was kind of there and helped me out because I had very little experience with cameras.
Sure.
And yeah, they're the first one.
Wow.
And you did, I mean, trying to remember, Married Todd
Yeah, fuck. How do you remember this?
and Flatlander's Request.
Yeah, okay. Holy shit. Yeah, I remember that being like an off-the-cuff session.
How do I know that? It's
I
weird.
don't know how you know that.
Well-
I mean, I guess if it stands out as like one of the first.
It stands out as one of the first, and I remember really liking the song, so that helps,
Thanks.
to be honest. I enjoyed them. I like the transition you had. I think it was in Married Todd. There's a kind of like, it kind of goes to when you pick it up and like,
Yeah, I
I can
remember-
walk from
I remember that song just being like pieces that I
Yeah.
wrote together.
It has this crescendo feel to it. It sticks out because of that, and the names were kind of unique. I remember Married Todd as Abraham Lincoln's wife, right?
Yes,
I don't know what Flatlander's Request means, but
Flatlander. We recently had gotten called Flatlanders by someone, ironically, like in Wisconsin.
like a flat earther, like
No, like a
Flatlander?
Flatlander, like, oh, you're from Illinois, you're a
Oh, I
Flatlander.
thought
But
it was
yeah, like
the
Flat
oppo-
Earther would
like
be funny. Yeah.
Like a way of calling someone a flat earther.
I think maybe that's why it stuck out because we were like, what did you just say to us? And he was like, no, you're a bunch of Flatlanders. And we were like, what the fuck? Like, you're literally like an hour and a half north of us in the same part of the country. Like, you're also here with us. But
That's funny.
yeah, so it just stuck out.
10 years and 4 months ago. About.
Fuck.
And yeah, after that, right after you, I started working with more people I didn't know. But like, yeah, you're the first
I
one.
broke the stranger danger rule.
You're the
dude.
first one. And then you played, I think, the first intimate evening in the basement.
I remember that,
Which was
yeah,
in
very vividly.
November of 2000.
Yeah, I remember it was my birthday.
November
16th.
Let me guess. I was going to say the 15th or 16th,
Yeah.
but you got it.
Wow.
Yeah, there was like
Crazy.
7 or 8 bands in the bill. I did it. So I did all those shows
Yeah,
without
yeah.
my parents knowing.
Oh, really? Okay, I never knew
They lived
that.
there, yeah.
I didn't know they lived there at the time. I thought like they had moved out. And
They
just,
moved
like, kinda
out
gave
June
you-
1st, 2015.
Okay, fuck.
So DZ Fest
Where
2014,
were they?
13, and so
do they know? Am I getting you in trouble with your mom?
they
right
know
now?
everything now.
Okay.
They are participated heavily after I realized
Yeah.
after they realized that I was not crazy, a little
Okay.
crazy.
Wow, this whole time I was like, Ben's parents are so supportive, so nice.
The first
You were
couple years they
lying?
just didn't really know because
Sure.
I knew what I was doing wasn't bad, but it was definitely can be perceived as risky,
For
dangerous.
sure, yeah.
And I don't blame anyone for thinking that. I just knew. So that's why like at those events I was very strict.
Yeah.
I was very sober, present, on top of stuff.
Especially in a kid's mind too.
Oh,
Like now
yeah.
you'd be like, that's not bad. That's not even like, yeah, it's like it's fine. But like in a kid's mind, you're like, I don't want to break any rules.
No, you don't.
Yeah,
When you're like in your early 20s and your friends are wild and everyone's drinking and stuff, and you go like, "Hey, mom and dad, I'm gonna have 8 bands play at my house." They're gonna be like, "No, you're."
like, no, you're
Most
not.
would say no.
Yeah,
like
yeah,
even
yeah.
cool parents would be like, 8? Can it be like 3?
I have seen at least one movie. There's no way that's
Yeah,
happening.
yeah. So I think it was 8 bands, possibly 7 played that night. Yeah, I believe it was Ratboys. I think it was single player. You solo.
Yeah.
Right.
Because I have there's a picture in my mind of me like standing up and everybody else is
Yeah.
sitting around.
Yeah,
around us,
yes.
which was very nice. It was a very like
Everyone was sitting.
truly
we threw
intimate.
like
Yeah,
cushions on the ground everywhere.
yeah.
I think Esta Vivo. I
Yes.
think my band played Wilshire.
Yeah.
Avantis. Grace. I think she played under like Carla Josephine or
Yes.
something.
Yeah.
Grace
Fuck,
did.
that project is so good.
And Feline. Who's not
Yeah.
Feline anymore.
Okay, what is it now?
I think it's Pantera, but not like.
It's Pantera.
Yeah, but not like
What?
I don't think it's like the metal band. Like I think it's spelled with an H. I think Pantera.
Okay.
I think. I'm pretty sure that's it. And not
Maybe
like
it's pronounced.
It's not like I don't. Maybe that's not even how it's pronounced. I'm really bad with pronouncing
It's like
things.
the Rolling Stones.
I'm trying to think who else played. Devin Godzicki played. Who else played? There's a bunch of people. It was like a huge list, and it was cool. But I remember how I set up for that was really funny. Parents left at like 5.
What would you do? Like
I know how.
Like,
I was
did
like,
you
it
get 'em
was
out?
very much like a '80s movie, like a Ferris
Yeah.
Bueller's Day Off type of thing. I was really good at this. I knew when my parents said that they were going out for the night, not out of
Yes,
town,
yeah,
but like
yeah.
it meant like they're coming home at 1 to 2.
Yeah.
Because it means they're like dinner, movie, playing cards, possibly having a couple drinks. Like
Sure. Yeah.
I have a long time, so
Yeah.
shoot, is second they left. I also convinced my sister to like go out too.
Yeah. She didn't know either.
She didn't know either,
Wow,
and my
okay.
brother wasn't living here anymore. He already moved out, so. Everyone's out. We move the couches up from the basement,
This is
throw
too
all the
good.
cushions down, set up the sound, move the lights,
Yeah.
maneuver some things around, clean up the house a little bit. Band shows up, we do the sound check, and then the band's played until I think like 11. And then I told everyone to get out by midnight.
Yeah.
Midnight midnight hits, everyone leaves.
Mm-hmm.
Put all the cushions back, throw the couches back, do a quick sweep, wipe. You really only need to clean the bathroom and the kitchen.
Yeah, because you had to walk through the bathroom to get
Yes.
to the kitchen.
Yes.
Or
Our kitchen to get to the bathroom.
Yes, yeah, Jesus Christ.
So both those
My
just need to be
brain does
clean,
not work.
and everything else you just kind of block off, and then you take away like the ropes that you use, and like,
Yeah.
then you're pretty good. And if you don't drink, you can wake up a little earlier before the family does, and like do a double check in the morning.
Oh, sure.
And that's what I did. And shoot, they never knew.
Wow.
Had no idea. I did
Do you
that.
think they never knew, or they just never mentioned it?
There's no way that they would have mentioned it.
Okay.
My mom would have been like, "What?"
She would have called
did
you out, like,
yeah,
immediately.
but nothing.
Fuck, that's sneaky. That's good.
I
like
did that a lot, and then I did it with a festival a couple times, and they didn't find out about the fest like truly until 2015.
Really?
Yeah, the first 3
Did you?
I hid.
The first ones. What did you do?
2012,
like, the stage
13, 14.
though. What did you?
They
was
would
there
go
not-
out of town for the weekend. I would build it
Okay.
Friday, have it
Oh,
Saturday.
okay. I remember that
take
being
it
like
down
an
Sunday.
overnight thing.
Yeah,
Okay, that's
fast,
why.
really fast. And that's why I couldn't
Wow.
wait till 2015. You actually played 2015, and
Yeah,
Ratboys did, and a bunch of who else? Really good bands. Blah blah blah. Oshwa, Esta Viva. Oshwa was awesome.
Yeah.
Big Joy, Feline Bloom, Swimsuit Edition. Wow.
Yeah, boss.
Boss
too,
Fight, Luke
shit.
Henry, John Till,
Oh,
Foley's
yeah.
the Mippo. Look at that. What
This
a
is
fun
an
time.
awesome wall. Fuck.
It's a wild wall.
Yeah,
I know
this
sometimes
is
I'm
great.
like, wow, crazy stuff, huh?
Yeah, truly.
Yeah, and yeah, so for everyone listening, enough about me. Sean, you've been in a bunch of bands.
Kind of. Yeah.
And
a handful.
And I call you Sean Neumann after the microphone, but I still
Yes.
don't know if it's Neumann or not.
It's Neumann.
I just like Neumann more.
My driver's ed teacher is the first person to like point out that it was Neumann. And he's like, it's German. And
Yeah, it
at
is.
that point, I liked music and played music, but I didn't know about gear or anything. It was just like,
Right,
yeah,
because
that's a microphone.
when you
that's
first
a
told me
guitar,
that, I was like,
whatever.
that is the same exact spelling.
Oh, it
of
is.
Neumann.
Yeah.
So I've always called it that, but everyone's like, isn't it Newman? I'm like,
It was just growing up in this, in the 90s and in the States, you would get Hello Newman from Seinfeld. Like
Right.
every day.
Yeah.
Like there was specifically like specific teachers that would do it every single day to you to try to like lighten you up when you came into class or whatever. But like that's what I would get every single day. And I never got Neumann until I learned how to drive. And then
you heard it.
now it's like you go to a music venue or something and you're talking to like the sound guy or whatever.
Yeah,
Someone
they're
who
like,
is
"Oh,
like
Neumann,
in the know
nice."
of gear and they're
Yeah.
like, oh yeah, Neumann. Okay. Yeah.
It's a cool last name. And you're 31, 32?
I am 29.
You're so young. You're 29?
I celebrated my 30th birthday with my mom and my grandpa and a few other family members last night, a month and a half early, which is really funny because we're going to be
Why?
on tour. But I was
right,
like kind
right.
of like getting, but it sucks because like I don't want to turn 30. I don't ever want to turn another age, of course. But like I started getting like little like nostalgic or more thoughtful, especially now. I was thinking about like you like coming to see you and stuff like that, and was trying to trace down like when we met and everything like that.
Now
But it
you
was
know.
funny that I was like, I don't know, celebrating your 30th birthday, but like a month and a half
That's
early. It's just
goofy.
like a gut punch a little bit. No, I'm just kidding. It was very nice.
So 30 is the new 20.
Yeah,
25.
Marcus, who plays drums in Ratboys, he tells me like every day, he's like, you're gonna love it when you turn 30. It's gonna be like such a like relief or something. He thinks it's like a very good thing. So I'm taking his advice.
It is.
Yeah.
It is. I will be 34 in December.
Okay,
So
yeah.
I'm about 4 years older than you, which is crazy. I met you when you were 19. You weren't even in your 20s yet.
Yeah, I guess not. Yeah.
You were 19.
Yeah. I knew I met you when I was at least out of high school. Like I knew I was in college at the time because all those like first sessions
Yeah.
and stuff, I remember being in college at that time.
Yeah, you
but-
just would have been after your freshman year.
Yeah. Or
You were
in
at
the
U of
middle
I,
it or
right?
something. Yeah.
Because I remember you wrote for their news.
Yes. Yeah.
Because I remember we went to Pygmalion.
Yeah.
In
yeah.
2013.
I remember that too.
It's funny. I've become acquaintance with Seth Fine, which
Okay,
is
nice.
funny.
Yeah,
He's we've talked about having him on this
Yeah.
soon, which
Just
will be
saw
fun.
him recently when we played Pygmalion.
Yeah.
It was the first day of the Ratboys tour, the first half of it. And currently we're in the middle of it now.
Yeah.
Just home for a couple days.
How many dates
But-
are the tour?
It was like 3 weeks out east, home in the middle for about a week, and then 3 weeks out west, which is coming up. Then we're home for a couple days. Then we fly to the UK and Europe. That's for 3 more weeks. So then I'm back in like early December. I'm not sure what the number of days is, but
That's
it was
amazing.
very nice to kick it off in Urbana though and see
Yeah.
Seth and
The old
see
the old
everybody down
the old
there.
days where you started from.
Yeah, it was
That's
nice.
cool.
I
And are
do-
you from Matson?
I'm from Mokina. I grew up in Mokina, and then all my friends are from Oak Forest. So usually, if somebody asks me, I'm like, "Oh, I'm from Oak Forest," because that's where,
How did
like,
that happen? Because it's far enough
I
away.
went to school there.
Why'd you go to school there if you're from Okina?
It's a
That would be
long
Lincoln Way, right?
Yeah, it would be Lincoln Way. I didn't go to Oak Forest High School, but I went to a grade school, St. Damien. That's out there,
Oh.
and those are still like my close
Okay.
friends.
And then
now,
did you end
yeah.
up going to high school in Lincoln Way?
I ended up going to high school at Marian Catholic in
Oh.
Chicago Heights.
Okay.
With
Okay.
like Cameron Chaplow and all them, if you know
Okay.
Cameron.
That's,
from-
the name sounds familiar.
Yeah, he books at Empty Bottle now, but
Okay.
played in Advents and stuff like that. If you remember that band from when
That-
we were
that-
growing up,
that
Yeah.
sucks.
if you remember that.
That name
Yeah.
You know what's weird
All
about
these,
that
there's a
area?
whole wall of bands. From
Yeah, I was just gonna say,
Yeah, yeah.
what happened in the
But,
south,
yeah.
deep south suburbs of Chicago?
Deep
Like, you know what I mean?
Yes.
Like the 200s, like
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
160 to like 220. Like
yeah.
I'm talking about street numbers, people, and like Cicero or Pulaski and
Latitudes.
like Central. Like what? How? And why was there so many bands and artists that not only started there and came from, but still are like doing it to
Yeah.
this day? Like I don't have that around where I'm from. There's a couple of people, and it's not much.
I think there
But
was.
what happened? What kind of you guys got in your water?
I don't.
Do you know what I'm saying?
It's
That
not
was a
all in
lot
one-
of people.
Yeah, it's not all from one specific. It's all from like the South Side, or like the South suburbs, or whatever you want to say about like that music scene.
I don't
growing
think
up.
that's ever happened
but-
before in the Chicago music scene history of like that area having that many concentrated people involved in the arts.
Yeah, it was a good connection between different scenes though. Like there were different scenes that I think were just connected well. So I think it was just a lucky thing and a very fortunate thing of I was thinking about this too. in thinking about like all the people from our area growing up, and I think Mikey Giannone and like Jake Carlson would be, credits to that, like by throwing the big show right away.
Dang, you hear that, Mikey?
Yeah, I mean, honestly,
I know
though,
he's
like,
gonna listen, to
like
this, so we got to give him a big shout out.
huge shout out
Mikey's
to Mikey.
Mikey
I think
gives-
he's the
Mikey's
link
underrated.
To,
He's underrated. Mikey, I'm going
overrated,
on Mike right now.
underrated. I would go
Mikey
underrated.
has been. He deserves MVP.
Yeah,
I don't think he
absolutely.
ever got
Yeah.
it at DZ Fest. It wasn't my decision, by the way. He deserves it. He always has come up with ideas.
An award.
He's always tried to connect people. I
Yeah.
don't know. It was
I love that.
the volunteers did it. I don't know. It was funny, but they did and they'd come up with like awards,
Okay.
a trophy. I don't know.
That is very nice. That's a very fun way to. Like,
I never
end the-
knew who it was or about it until the very end. Like, okay, Ben, we got it. We got the person. We got the nominee.
Did you ever win MVP?
No.
I love that.
No.
The clear MVP every year.
The funny thing about MVP is it almost was like who the obvious people that you would expect never got it.
Sure,
It was
sure,
almost always
yeah.
like a newcomer, someone
That's
who did.
nice though. Makes everyone
Yeah.
feel like part of that.
Yeah, it was usually
group
someone who
and
was
stuff,
new
yeah.
that decided to take a risk on like, hey, you guys need some help. I'm happy to like
Yeah,
learn
yeah.
something, and then they end up like killing it, and you
Absolutely,
could see
yeah.
they're going like they really care. I'm like, dude, they get the MVP.
Fuck yeah.
It's not like the people that've been there for a decade. You clearly they're gonna show up and do the work. You
And
know?
it was a huge trophy, right?
I wish. I think it was like
8 feet tall.
tiny stuff, like a little plaque or
just
something
joking,
goofy.
yeah.
I wish it was like huge, like heavy,
Yeah,
like
you
a-
need multiple people to lift.
yeah,
it
like a
to
big
bring it
cup
to
you
you.
gotta drink champagne out
Yes,
of.
yeah.
But yeah, I want to go on record saying that Mikey, he did the big show.
Yes.
I think it started in
For 3
2011
years. Yeah.
or 10.
11, 12, and 13, I think.
Right,
And
because the
then-
first two DZ Fest, I think it was the same dates as the 2012 and 13.
Oh
big
shit.
show.
Okay. Okay.
Because I remember it might have been no. The first one was 2012 was the
Okay.
same as the second big show.
Okay.
For those listening, big show was like a music festival big show, literally
Yeah.
on the south side of
Another true.
What were the streets or what area?
It was in Matson. It was
Matson.
at a park. I'm sure the park has a name, but it's just a park, and there was just a building in there that Mikey would rent out for a picnic from the city or from the park district or whatever.
Mad respect for lying
It
to the
was true
authorities.
DIY,
I
and
love
we
it.
would like rush in there in the morning. I mean, I would not. Mikey and Jake and Brian Baliga and everyone who ran it would like go and run in there, and set it up really quick.
Was
put
Brian
up
the
a
one that was
few
always
things.
acting in the
He
promo
was,
videos?
yeah.
Right,
They
I
would put up
remember him.
all these promo videos,
Yeah.
and it was beautiful because it was a park, so they could go to the location, which was just this little shitty old building, but it became kind of like an iconic spot for us in the scene because it was like, oh, that's the big show room or whatever.
Yeah.
And it was truly in the middle of this park. So any noise that was coming out of there had to travel so far through the park to hit any houses or anything. No one cared at all.
Yeah, no one cared.
Like, I'm sure there were picnics that were like blasting PA, like, family
Yeah.
reunions or something that were blasting music way louder. Then we'd do acoustic acts outside under like a tent.
I remember that, yeah.
Sometimes with like lights and everything. So it'd go morning to night, like 11 a.m. to, till nighttime.
You probably had to end at like 10 or something.
I would assume so. I was just trying to think of that. Yeah,
Yeah.
probably like curfew was probably 10, but it was dark and it was summer, so
Yeah.
probably around that time.
I was always very curious, and I was like, I missed it every time because the first time I just didn't know about it. It's
Yeah.
for those who don't know, this is 2011. Like it's like not as
Yeah.
easy to find stuff on the
It's
internet
like
as it is now.
Facebook events or even MySpace
Yeah, and if
events,
it- yeah, it was
maybe?
probably
it was
one of-
probably in
or
that like
both.
transition period between those two.
And if you didn't know or someone didn't share with you, you just don't find out about it.
Yeah, it wasn't like a public event. I mean, it
No.
might have been, but like you can't search public events like back then the way
Right.
you can now. I don't
Yeah.
know.
I didn't know about it until after.
Yeah.
And then I wanted to go the next year because I knew some people who played. And I think, I don't know if you remember Ian Sutherland.
Yeah.
I remember I think he played one of the
Yeah,
years, Uncle
Waterhouse.
Ghost.
Yeah.
Maybe it was
yeah.
Waterhouse.
Mhm.
And then I remember seeing, I think it was the Paramedics.
Yeah.
I knew who they were. I was like, oh, I
Absolutely,
want
yeah.
to see them play because I had a show at my house that's in May 2011.
Yeah.
And Freudians have played.
Fuck. Okay.
And I think some people from the Paramedics came.
Mhm.
And I remember talking with Jamie at the time
Yeah.
about that. And they were like, yeah, we're playing, the big show, but I couldn't go. I had something else I was doing. I didn't really know what they were talking about.
Yeah.
I was like, I don't know what that means. And then, DZ Fest for the next few years, I just missed
Yeah,
it.
that's
but-
a funny like Oak Forest way of being. It's like talking about something like it's the biggest deal
But no
in
one
their life,
knows.
but like not telling you what it is.
Yep.
It's such a funny like, not like on purpose gatekeeping, but like, oh, you don't know about that? Like
I
kind of like a
know.
shame
I know.
gatekeeping, which
I
is
don't get
more
that.
funny.
It's a
Yeah,
very young thing to do.
Yeah, of course.
It's
Yeah,
like, what do you mean?
yeah.
Like, they don't even mean to do it.
No,
It's just
yeah,
like,
it's just like,
the
oh,
big
you're
show.
not cool.
Yeah.
But yeah, Mikey would bring together different bands, and I was thinking about this. He went to Marian Catholic as well, and so
Good Christian boy.
yes, and so that's where like Alicia from Oshawa went.
Oh, okay.
Brian Baliga went there.
Oh,
Namdi did not go there, but he was friends with all them. So that was like the link to Namdi was through Mikey, through all them. Like when I was a freshman, I sat at lunch, I think with Mikey Giannone.
Really? Did you guys
Ian
look the same
McAvoy.
as you do now?
Do we look the same?
Ageless men.
I don't know about that. But yeah, it was just like funny to think back, like sitting
That's
with those
so
people. But yeah, Mikey was the link between those scenes and then the Oak Forest scene because he was cousins with Jake Carlson.
Yeah.
Or is currently
They
separated.
got divorced via their.
But yeah, but they
make a documentary about Mikey and how he
honestly,
connects
he
everything.
connected
huh?
everything.
He's
and,
like Kevin Bacon over here.
Also, that festival, yes, 6 Degrees of Giannone. But yeah, like all the like kids on the north side that like Marcus, for example, who plays drums in Ratboys and stuff like that. Like we started to get to know those bands through then the people in the South suburban scene getting up to Chicago. So there's all these different
just climbs
degrees
up.
that just kept blooming outwards and stuff. But I don't know if like the scenes were that rare or I mean, to me it's a very special thing, the most special thing in my life, but I don't know if it's like that unique, like other towns didn't have it. But I think just the fact that we started to connect to other towns.
I think that's
like
what
a
it
bigger
was.
blob.
It's almost like a lot of micro scenes happen.
Yeah, and became one bigger one.
It became one bigger one. Instead of connecting scenes, you go to the source, you go to Chicago.
Yeah.
Then you'll connect scenes. But to have it to preemptively, like before you go there.
Yes.
Especially in a time when it wasn't like you can just find people on Instagram so easily and
Yeah.
stuff. Yeah, it was pretty
It's like going to high
rare.
school or going to college when you already know like a huge group of friends going to that
Exactly.
place, and it's like, oh fuck,
That's a
how
great
is
way
there
to
a big
put it.
group already?
Yeah, it's like when
goddamn.
you guys all went to Chicago, so many people knew each other. Right?
Yeah.
So I was always like, is there some club I don't know about? Like where I was from, there was like 5 people that like were really playing some cool music, and like it kind of ended there.
It's for people who get MVP awards, so you would not know about it.
I mean, to be honest, the lack of people around and things to do and places to play is why I did the DZ thing to begin with.
Sure, yeah,
I was
yeah.
like, I'm just gonna make it because I don't know where to find it.
Yeah.
And playing it in like a experimental noise rock, progressive rock band, it was really hard to get shows. So I was like, well, I'm talking about my old band. I was like, well, I could just play at my house,
fucking show.
right? I mean, and why not? And then just like get a bunch of friends involved, and it's a great way to meet each other.
Yeah.
And it certainly worked, but
Absolutely. It worked flawlessly.
yeah, it worked
That's
pretty
great.
well. Just it took a lot of time and effort.
Of
but
course, yeah.
yeah, it's funny to think about that scene, and it's so cool to see like all the stuff everyone's done from like the scene you came up with. You know?
Yeah, absolutely.
I'm just like, man, so many people still play, and you know, like see Ratboys like tour the world like many times over.
Oh yeah.
Like how many times have you guys left America? I can't even.
In total, shit, I don't. A handful.
5
Yeah.
times.
Yeah, I've been to Europe twice. We're going back for a third time. We've been to Japan, and we may be going back there as well.
That's so cool.
But yeah, it's crazy. It's crazy to see DIY at like an international level because it works the exact same way.
Yeah,
It's
it
like,
does.
I met like that band, the Beths. We met them at a show that we just got put on together in England, and we just all hit it off because we were like-minded. Like, you know, we all came from DIY scenes, but just across the world, and we all love music, and we just love like getting to know new people who also love music, and yeah, we just hit it off there, and now we're like friends with them from across the world, and we see them when they come through Chicago, and that's just one example, but like,
Sure.
yeah, it's fun to meet different people and stay at people's houses, like in another country, you truly get to like, I don't know, experience.
You're speaking my language.
I don't know. It's crazy. Yeah.
I 100% relate.
Barely speaking.
It's up.
Not form words. Yeah.
No, you are like it's hard for me to travel in any normal way because I secretly love staying on someone's couch.
Oh, it's the best
when
way to
someone's like,
travel,
"Oh, we got
I
like a
think,
hotel in this resort." Like, no, I don't even really
Yeah.
like that. That doesn't sound fun.
I mean, you're truly staying in like an isolated place. Then that's
Right.
like
I want the neighborhood. I want the
sanitized
culture.
version of where you're at. Yeah.
The food, the cool dive spot that everyone knows about,
Yeah.
the cool venue to go to, meet their friends, meet their family.
Exactly.
All of
yeah.
it.
Go
To
out
go to their favorite restaurant.
Mhm.
It's fun.
Yeah.
And it's like it's this natural call to adventure.
Yeah,
you know,
definitely. Yeah.
to do that. And wow, travel Japan. Have you done South Korea?
No, I mean we flew in on our way to Japan and like rode the train from one airport to the other airport, which is like an hour long of like sitting there and just looking out on, the land, I guess. But like that's about it. Did
Yeah.
not get to travel there. Yeah. Hopefully one day.
Oh,
That'd
I
be
could see
sick,
it
yeah.
working out.
That'd
That's
be
a big music
beautiful.
city.
Yeah.
Yeah, that and like Singapore.
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah.
Yeah, I have a band coming in 2 days from now from Singapore.
Which
It's my
band?
Subsonic Eye.
Okay, fuck yeah.
You heard of them?
Yeah. Are they on Top Shelf?
Yeah, they are.
Yeah.
Yeah, they'll be here
That's-
Wednesday.
Yeah, they
Really
have
nice.
A really good Singapore connection.
Yeah.
Top Shelf does.
Yeah, okay. That's
yeah.
good to know. Yeah, no, I mean that's the goal is to go to what we were talking about before the podcast. Just like how you're touring with Ratboys, which is an amazing band, one of my favorites. Got all their vinyl, all the different colors. My favorite's the Happy Birthday Ratboy because it's very
Oh, yeah.
nostalgic.
Yeah,
and,
yeah,
it's like,
yeah.
oh, I recorded these songs.
Yeah,
like
it's-
not the ones on the album, but like I remember being there in 2013 and 14, like
Yeah,
recording these when they were like coming out.
Yeah.
And then to hear like a nice,
It was fun to
Production of it.
re-record those. Yeah.
really cool.
Yeah.
But yeah, like how you travel and play shows and stay people's places. I like to travel and record bands and stay people's places
Yeah.
and do podcasts too. But really doing their live sessions on location around the world.
I love that.
So much fun.
Because you're not just highlighting. I mean, it's awesome to go there and highlight the artists where they are, but like to capture the venue that they would typically play
the
at
venue,
or
the
something,
living
or the
room,
space or whatever. Yeah.
the different. It's so
Yeah.
much fun.
I
I
thought
love
that
even
was
the
awesome.
challenge of it.
When you went to Nashville. And
Nashville.
Did Dark Matter, I was so excited. to
Yeah,
see
it was
that,
so
yeah.
much fun. Do you know Molly Mar? Oh yeah,
Yes,
you do.
yeah,
That's
yeah,
she
yeah.
brought you up.
Yeah.
She's awesome.
Truly awesome,
Amazing
yeah.
band.
Yeah.
So tight. I saw them they played the Hideout when they were in town. They're coming back
Yeah.
to play the Hideout.
Okay, good.
But you might be in Europe.
We have been like two
November
ships in the night for
10th?
like 2 years or 3 years. Yeah, we're gonna be gone.
Yeah.
But
I'll tell her you said hi.
thank you. Yeah. Every time they're coming through Chicago, we'll be like texting back and forth, be like, can I go? And of course we're not there. Same thing with Nashville. Or like even we were at South by Southwest together 2 years ago. And we were both down there and we like could not meet up just because our show schedules were like conflicting.
At least it's a good
constantly, so.
reason.
Oh, of
Like
course,
I can't see
yeah,
because I'm on
yeah,
tour. It's like I
yeah,
can't see I'm on
yeah.
tour. Like that's awesome.
Yeah.
The fact that you and many people in your circle are touring
Yeah.
is got to be crazy.
It's nice, and
you know?
I think the thing that keeps you going too is seeing other people doing it out of the love of doing it, clearly not out of like the money of doing it or
It's
anything
not
like
the
that.
money.
No,
we
it's
all
out
know
of,
that.
yeah, but like it's like it actually, in fact, like most likely giving up a regular life or regular
yeah.
paying job to go do this.
Is that what you're doing?
And I think everyone is. Yeah. And you find ways to make money to complement making music or to like support that. Unless you're of course lucky enough to make a living making music, then that's like the dream. But
I don't know if
Yeah.
this is a. Man, I'm trying to think if this is not a good question to
just
ask
looked
or
away.
inappropriate question, but like, how many, at the best, how many like tiers do you feel like you're away from? Like, I could just
it's an endless staircase,
right?
Yeah,
Isn't it?
I
Because it's
think
all
that-
relative to your life and expenses and
yeah, and
habits and insurance and student loans
sure,
and car
yeah.
payments. Like,
I mean, of
how much
course,
do you
it's
need to
just like
live?
you want to go day to day. I mean, you don't want to be living day to day, but like as long as you have enough to get to the next day,
Yeah.
sometimes that's how you got to go about it.
Yeah.
Luckily, that's not always the case. You know, it's like you're
Yeah.
not always like like truly starving artist or something.
course.
But yeah, I mean, like you just listed off a handful of like bills that a normal adult has to pay.
Yeah.
Like you have to figure that stuff out in addition to
Right.
being flexible with your schedule and life and stuff like that, which is very hard. So it's long story short, to see other people doing that and doing that dedication
Yeah.
and making those sacrifices, it keeps you going because
Absolutely.
you know you're not the only one doing it, or you're seeing it's possible from someone else, and you can talk to them and figure out how, or like, you know, continue to get inspired of like why you're doing this and
Yeah.
stuff. So
It's
Yeah.
inspirational.
it's
Yeah,
it's
It definitely
yeah.
is.
I'm speaking of seeing other people do it. Yeah, it is, and seeing you like you follow this and do this, and now wanting to travel and stuff. That's inspirational to me. I was thinking about how many. That's what I was asking. Like, how many days a week are you doing this podcast, doing sessions down here, traveling? Like,
It's lucky
You're-
that I'm teaching now at 2 different schools.
yeah,
as
I
well.
see that as well.
Yeah.
You're like driving down to ISU, right?
ISU.
That's fucking crazy.
Tuesdays and Thursdays.
What other school?
And then Columbia on Wednesdays.
Okay, shit. I mean, that's the same dedication.
Yeah,
and it's
it
the same
is
piecing
ridiculous,
things together to make
yeah.
it work. I
But
would
it's
assume,
so
but-
fun
Yeah.
because it's such a wild like odyssey.
yeah.
I'm just like sometimes I look at my schedule. I'm like, what the heck? Like, like even today, like I had an amazing band here earlier, finishing up an album.
Nice.
And I get to talk to you, someone I've known for over a decade, and have always enjoyed the projects you've been in. And every time we get to hang out and collaborate, and then seeing people in your world keep growing and doing things, it's so cool. And then teaching tomorrow,
Yeah.
teaching Wednesday night, a band from Singapore comes in.
It's fucking sick. Like that alone is
At
like
Thursday,
so sick. Yeah.
teach again, and I'm going to this awesome screening at the Art Institute. A friend I know who invited me. Friday, I'm going to see this band Men I Trust at Aragon
Yeah.
Ballroom. You know,
Hell
them?
yeah.
Awesome band.
Yeah.
And I'm like, man, this is a crazy week of music
Absolutely,
and like
yeah.
film and audio and podcasting and talking. And I'm like, that's just 1 week. It's like every week's like this.
It's nice to take a step back and realize that stuff sometimes, because it can feel, just things can feel shitty
Yeah.
every day. They
Yep.
absolutely can.
It is relative.
But like to take that step back and look at your like, what did I do today?
yeah.
And that was technically for work, you know, like quote unquote, or however you want to call it.
Yeah.
It's for my living, or it's what I'm doing with my life. That's
Yeah.
how I'm trying to think about things nowadays. It's like, this is what I'm doing with my time and with my likely one life that I have or something. And so like when you pan out and see your schedule like that, I imagine that is something that when you think back to being a kid,
Oh my God.
and you're like, oh,
Never
like,
could've
I wish I
thought.
could do this, this, or this, and like you're doing it all in 1 week. Like,
Yeah.
and that's like a normal week for you.
Yeah.
I don't know. That's very cool.
It's thank you. It's very strange.
Yeah,
And
it is. Yeah.
I definitely love it. It comes with as you know, like what you're doing and your peers. When it works, it's great. It still has some
sure.
stress, but even like getting it to
Yeah,
happen,
yeah.
how stressful it is
Yeah.
to plan out tours across. Even if you have booking agents or a label helping you,
Yeah.
you still have to do a lot of stuff.
Oh my God, you have to do everything.
You're not at a level. Very few people
Yeah.
are. Very few people are where you just like text your agent or manager, and then
That-
they'll tell you
yeah,
like,
does
okay,
not
these are all the
happen.
dates, and you're like,
Yeah.
cool, you got the bus ready. Like, yeah, here's the buses ready. Like
Yeah,
that's
yeah.
like multi-million
Oh,
dollar.
of course. And that's like not anything. I don't think from the communities that we're from, I don't think either of us would
No.
ever want bullshit like
No,
that.
I
Yeah.
couldn't. I couldn't even imagine having like an assistant and trying to explain to them the way that I like. My lexicon of
That's ego.
and
that's
how to
not
talk with
art.
people.
Yeah,
It's
yeah.
like I can't teach you
Yeah.
how to like live this way.
Sure.
It's a way of living. It's as corny as it sounds, like DIY. It's like no, it really is.
Yeah,
You're
yeah.
resourceful.
Yeah.
You're clever.
Mm.
You got to be intelligent. You have to be forward thinking.
Mm.
You definitely need to be like an entrepreneur
Yeah.
of some kind. I'm not
Definitely.
talking
Yeah.
like big tech. I'm talking a classic, like just thinking outside the box always and being
Yeah.
really creative and resourceful.
That was a little bit of a shift in thinking that I think got us through the pandemic. Maybe
Mhm.
Ratboys specifically was. I mean, we knew we did not want to give up music and stuff like that, and it was very, at least for me, sometimes it can get hard to be like, yeah, I'm playing music and I'm almost 30. You know, it's like hard to explain that to like a family member or someone you see at like, you know, that you're just making small talk with at like a party or something like that.
Yeah.
It's a very hard thing to like, because they have a million questions right away.
Of course.
But it like thinking about it, like, yeah, we're running a small business as well, if you want to think about it that way. Like, I don't think about music that way, but like we are, you know, trying to make a living out of this to the point where we just don't have a storefront, maybe like a physical brick and mortar storefront, but we like have a traveling one. It's our van and we take it around and we play music for people and provide entertainment and then sell a record or two. But that way of thinking kind of like made me more comfortable with like, oh yeah, this is okay to like think about money sometimes too, to make yourself live.
Yeah.
Or to allow yourself to live.
Were you
addition to
trained that way
but-
growing up about like art and music? Like it's kind of like it's a hobby and it's
Yeah,
for people
definitely.
to do sparingly, but it's not like a career. Like you can't.
I think so. I mean, I don't think anyone who raised me would like say it in a way that like put it down, but like they would definitely like I was not raised by artists.
No,
I was
yeah,
raised
same.
by like baseball players. So like so it's like but which it has like a very, you know, you can I find a lot of symmetry with like sports and music. So I
Yeah.
think there's an acceptance of like making a sacrifice to quote unquote chase your dream or find some sort of fulfillment in your life.
Mm-hmm.
And whether that is, yeah, like making a baseball team or like making a record that people want to listen to. And yeah, I don't think that it was ever thought. It wasn't even like in the realm of possibility. I don't think growing up. Like I didn't grow up playing guitar at a young age. I found guitar because my friends were into it. And
How old were you when you started playing?
13. So I mean, yeah, I did grow up doing it, but like not the same way I grew up doing other things.
Sure.
You know,
Some
but
people learn at
when they're
6,
4
7
or some shit.
you know,
Yeah, it's like
absolutely
crazy.
4 or
yeah.
5,
Or their
violin, piano.
yeah, or their parents were musicians, and it's like, oh yeah, music was always. You like read those interviews sometimes. They're like, yeah, music was always
Yeah.
part of my family
All the
like,
time.
like,
And I'm like,
fuck, like
huh.
I could not imagine that.
I mean, my parents
I don't know if I'd like
listened
it.
to
Yeah, yeah,
music,
yeah.
right? Like most parents, mine definitely listened
Oh, of
to
course,
music.
yeah.
And we had a sound system, and it was definitely listened to a lot. But as far as like you could be an artist, it was like that.
Yeah.
No,
it wasn't.
That was not a conversation.
It wasn't in the cards. No, it was never like something. I don't know. Like if my parents were looking for something for me to do in the summer, they weren't like when I was out of school. They weren't like, oh, you should go to like arts camp or like
Yeah.
a singer songwriter camp or something. They were like, yeah, go fucking play baseball in the park with your friends.
Yeah.
In a much nicer way. But like
Yeah,
you
get
know,
lost,
it's like
kid.
yeah, go do what kids do like in our area. I don't know.
I wish both things were promoted.
Absolutely,
you know?
yeah. Yeah.
More. Not saying they aren't, but it'd be
Yeah.
nice. Sports are great.
Of course,
It's
yeah,
great.
yeah.
I learned a lot about being in a band because of sports.
Sure, yeah.
That team effort, knowing your role,
Of course.
learning a
Shut
balance.
your mouth.
Shut your mouth and do what I say. I'm the team team
no,
captain.
yeah, I get what you're saying.
Just there's
The
a
team captain. I'm the MVP.
there is I was never MVP at BZ Fest, but god dang it, I'm the team captain. No, it's usually like a team effort. I played basketball a lot.
Yeah,
I
yeah.
played all the sports, but basketball was my main. And I've been in 5-piece bands.
Yeah,
And
yeah.
I like can feel.
It's your starting lineup.
Yes, the center is your drummer. You know, the point guard
The
is
only
the
one tall enough to
singer.
reach the cymbals.
Bass player is power forward. I mean, there is a perfect metaphor here.
Yeah, no, of course, yeah.
No, you learn that, and then again, obviously the physical activity part is great for kids, excellent for kids, and good for your health. But then the creativity part of growing up is kind of
Yeah.
left out. It's almost like, oh, you're gonna like color in your coloring book for like 10 minutes. Like that's just
Yeah.
like as far as it would go, or maybe
I-
use some hot glue and make
Yeah.
something with grandma.
I know it can.
You know, you know.
I know it can be like trained and taught. You know, obviously there's art class and stuff, and you know you can mold a mind like this is my like protege or kid or how whatever, and I'm like making them into an artist as well, or pushing them down that lane or whatever. Like you can craft that, of course, but like I don't see like it takes the fun out of it for me. Maybe
I see
don't
what you're
know.
saying.
But yeah, like I do get what you mean. Like I at least in a like structural way, I wish there was more opportunities and like funding for that stuff.
Just funding.
Yeah,
That's the
yeah.
right word. Just funding for it. Like art centers, community centers, park districts.
And less like of a look down the nose about stuff, like from general society. Like, oh, you're in a band and you're an adult. Like, cool. You know, like,
you get it a lot?
Yeah,
You get that a lot?
That often. I usually it's a very
You
nice
pitch
thing,
in
but
your
I'm
voice,
like,
set it on. You're like,
I think it's someone saying it in a nice way to me, and it's like, you know how you hear voices differently in your head because of pitches? So it goes through my filter and it becomes this thing like, oh, you fucking loser.
Passive aggressive.
Yeah. It's all self-deprecating for sure.
How
I don't
often
think people
is
are
it
very
real?
mean. That people are mean to me.
Yeah.
Probably very often, but
like
I'm just
objectively,
aloof.
we're like, damn, that was rude. And your friend's like, wow, that was rude.
No, I think generally people are very supportive. And I think it comes from, or it's the same thinking as like how you and I sat down, we haven't seen each other for a while, and we're like fawning over each other, like, oh, I'm so proud of you. You know, it's like,
because I'm proud of you.
But it's like cool to see someone chasing something that they want to do rather than just like sitting in the chair that they were assigned to sit in by someone else and just being okay with that and then falling over off the chair one day when they're dead. Like that's
heavy metaphor.
Sorry.
I like it.
Sorry. But like I think people are very
more,
excited and very happy and I would hope find their own happiness through seeing other people be happy as well. I mean, I think that's why we watch movies or TV or sports or anything like that, is like seeing people succeed gives us hope to do things as well.
Yeah, I'd say most people do.
Yeah, and succeed's a loose word for our situations. I mean, yours, yes. But mine, I don't know. But
I mean, I think you're succeeding well as a band. I mean, you guys are on a label, and you have physical mediums of like everything. You have every type of merch there is. You've toured the world.
I'm sorry, I wasn't.
No.
I'm not dragging down the other people.
You're touring the world. Like these are. It's
just me.
It comes with a ton of work,
of
and
course,
weight,
yeah.
and like no sense of normal life.
Absolutely
at
not.
all.
Yeah.
Like what? What part of Chicago? Do you live in Chicago right now?
I live in Albany Park.
Okay, way up yonder.
Yes, yeah. Way up yonder.
Stone's throw
from the
way
deep south to the way up
deep
yonder.
south to the way up yonder.
It's like a crazy life story.
There and Back Again by Sean Neumann.
Never really left the zip code, but traveled far and wide.
Yeah, it's a difficult sense of normalcy when you're traveling around the world.
Yeah.
Different life, different time zones, different everything. It's that's
Yeah, it's.
how do you do it? What do you do?
That's a weird thing that I don't think there's ever an answer to that. Maybe is like the being away from home thing. If that's what you're asking about, but there is no sense of normal life.
What about when you come back and you're in Albany Park?
It's
do you work somewhere else, or you still just do band stuff?
I work as a sports reporter for People magazine currently.
Oh, that's awesome.
But I do that. Luckily, they are cool with me leaving for tour. I'm a freelancer, but a full-time freelancer with them, so I am just on full-time when I'm there.
And apparently you freelance full time.
apparently.
You're like, I guess I freelance full time, and I'm on full time when I freelance there.
Yeah, it's a confusing situation. This is the part of the conversation with family members where they're like, okay, you're making something up. Like, this is not true.
We have to hope they all listen to this.
Yeah.
Freelance, full time. I don't think I've ever heard those two words in the same sentence.
I have full-time hours, but I'm a freelance. So basically, I work full-time there. They do not pay me health insurance or any benefits. However, I have the freedom to just tell them, like, hey, I'm not going to be here for 3 months because my band put out a new album.
Badass band.
This is just a very, very weird email to send because it's like both like, they're going to fucking can me and also like kind of humiliating in a way because it's like, I never bring up music stuff.
There's no positive side to this?
Oh, absolutely there is. I'm focusing on the negative,
okay.
Of course. But it's weird to... I don't cross the worlds very much. Like at those two parts of my life, I try to keep them separate.
Yeah.
Just it's easy. Maybe it's a
Compartmentalizing
thing. Yeah,
I have a hard time with that word too.
Yeah, thanks. Thanks for the support.
I only knew because you messed it up, so I was like, I got this.
Yeah. Tag you in. But yeah, it's just easier to. I don't know. I don't like to talk to people I work with very much. They're very nice. It's just like I just am gonna like somehow embarrass
I'm
myself.
definitely
And
gonna
I
tag
would rather,
People Magazine
Thanks,
in this.
yeah.
Be like, you have to check this out. Your reporter or your
They're very nice. They're
your
very
sports
awesome.
reporter's
Yeah.
dope. He has nothing but nice things to say.
But it just feels like a weird thing. Like I don't know, bringing up the things you do outside of work always feels embarrassing for some reason.
You know what's funny?
Do you know? And it's like I'm just gonna not mention that, and you just know me as this work person.
It depends on the job.
Of course, it does.
So
yeah,
like
yeah.
99% of the time, I agree and forge them in a place where all the things I do outside of work are for my work and vice versa.
Yeah.
So at like my job, my students, they're probably listening right now. Some of them, they follow me on stuff. They already know about all the things I do because I talk about it because I teach it.
That's very nice.
They come and ask
yeah.
after class, hey, how do I get an internship here or there in the city? I'm looking at this place. I show them the venues. I tell them what labels to reach out to because like this is what I do. So like, yeah, I don't tell them like, you must follow me on this, and that.
Or you
they
fail.
eventually figure it out.
That they'll fail. If they don't.
No, they eventually figure it out, but I don't have to hide any of that.
Yeah.
Now the only thing I hide because both things are so darn public is private life. That's the only thing.
Yeah, they're related.
They're related.
At least,
teaching
like
them.
mine feels so unrelated. Where it's like you're doing what? Like,
Yeah.
I don't. It just. It's like
Do
I
you
don't.
think they would
wanna
respect
talk
the creative part of it since
Oh,
you're
they
a
do.
journalist?
Even my
which is creative?
someone I work with came out to a show on the first leg of tour. It was the first time I've actually met someone I work with in person. Largely because of the pandemic and because of being a freelancer for the past like 10 years, pretty much.
That's a long
It is.
time.
Yeah, it is. Yeah, it's a lot of treading water. But you don't like get to know people.
No, you
for
don't.
different reasons. But yeah, you don't get to know people very well like you would going 9 to 5 at a job. But now that I am 9 to 5 and like just doing daily work, I am getting to know people a little bit better. And obviously I had to tell them what I was doing when I was like leaving.
For a month at a time.
Yeah. But they're very supportive of it. It's very nice. I forgot why I was. I feel like I said something wrong about the people I work with.
You said there's something
very
wrong with the
kind.
People magazine people.
Absolutely nothing.
That's cool though. Sports journalism.
Yeah, it's
That's
fun.
cool. You a big sports fan, I'm assuming then?
Yeah. Sorry, I've steered this whole conversation to sports.
No, I mean I
no.
don't watch sports too much now, but I really like playing them. And when I was a kid, I loved playing sports.
Yeah.
Absolutely. I did it all the time. It was very healthy, fun. I think sports are way more creative than people give them credit for.
Oh, for sure.
You have to. It's almost like this impromptu dance / coordinated dance at the same time. I mean, you are you're like moving with style in the air. It's like ballet with muscles. I can't.
Yeah.
Beyond muscles, because ballet has muscles too. You know what I'm saying? It's crazy. It's a weird creative form. I think people who don't see it that way, probably think of, the dumb stuff in sports, like the drama.
Yeah, or focus on the competitive
Yeah,
stuff, which is like,
the
there
nonsense part.
is that as well. There is,
course.
of course, a final score, but like that's the end of the story that
Right.
you're watching. Like you're watching a story unfold, no matter what it is.
Yeah.
But I don't know.
Yeah.
So I have always loved that. I think that's the part from. Part from growing up. I burped, by the way. That's why I said excuse me.
Disgusting.
I was not cutting
I'm
you off.
kidding. No, I
excuse
was
me.
gonna. I'll finish your thought.
I
have a
think that's
question
the
for you.
part of like my family that's like instilled in me and that will never leave.
What sports did you play?
Baseball and like basketball
Okay.
and like messed around with hockey, but like just casually as
Right.
people would. But like
No football.
No, never played football.
Not even like backyard football.
Yeah, with like friends and stuff, but never like an organized way.
Yeah. I never did organized either, but
Yeah.
we played some
Beat the
rough
shit out of
football.
each
Oh
other,
my
yeah.
god, dude, we were wild. That backyard, it was not just messed up from DZ Fest.
Yeah.
A lot of chaos started there way
That's
before
a great
DZ
backyard.
Fest. Oh
You
my,
had-
an epic backyard.
Yeah.
I wish I can bottle that thing up and carry it with me everywhere I
That is
go.
a beautiful place to grow up.
It was amazing. And the forts and the tree houses and the cabins and the cabins on cabins and that other fort and this fort. But the sports, all winter football, all summer other sports, like a lot of bonfires, a lot of blown up stuff.
Yeah. Of course.
Hockey,
Yeah.
basketball, baseball all summer. Just anything and everything. Golf, anything we could do in this big field, we did it. But football, we got wrecked. I mean, kids broke their arms, kids got hurt. Luckily, it was before people loved to sue each other, you know?
Yeah, of course.
No parent sued ever. They definitely could have. Yeah, we got banged up. It was rough. Full-on tackle with like a bunch of teenage boys, 10, 12 of us, 14 of us. It was brutal. I got messed up.
Hell yeah.
Destroy the yard, covered in mud. Dad would be so mad.
Yeah. Yeah, I never really took part in like tackle football too much.
It hurt. It was so
dangerous.
dangerous.
It sucks. Yeah.
Well, the key was just don't get tackled. So I definitely tried my best to just be as fast as I could. Don't get tackled because it hurts. But yeah, I love sports. But the thing that has bothered me as of late, it kind of took me out of it. It's not really time. It sometimes just too busy and I forget about what to watch. It's not just that. Sometimes it's mentality, pop culture mentality, superficial mentality. It gets a little old, and I don't expect anything less from young, naive, like giant gods that are millionaires at like 20 who have zero life experience but are like worth $10 million. Like I can see why they do dumb stuff and make mistakes in all sports. I get it. So I don't hold it against them. It definitely is annoying, but I don't hold it against them. That's not the biggest problem. The biggest problem I see now is the sports betting. Drives me crazy. People are not even fans anymore. They're just watching it to make sure they can win. They bet against their own team.
Yeah, that's like not the world I'm in at all.
Isn't it awful?
Yeah,
it drives me crazy.
It's pretty mind bending.
I'm like, this doesn't even make any sense.
Yeah. Yeah, and of course it's all built to make people addicted to gambling, which just sucks.
Yeah, it's sad. And it's like you aren't a sports fan anymore. Now you're just watching to win, or it's either a fantasy thing or a betting thing. And
you're
I'm
just
like,
playing
so
a game.
tired
You're
of
trying to
it.
play a game yourself, and it's just kind of.
I like sitting down, have some pizza and a beer, and watch a game. And chit chat with whoever's watching it with you, or watch it alone. Like
we
that's
should watch some sports.
We should.
I think we.
I like the Bulls a lot, so we go.
Okay.
Let's go to a
and
Bulls
you're right
game.
here next to the.
When you're back
Sox
from
bar. I would love to go to.
Okay,
a
so
Bulls
next
game.
spring we can do some Sox games, and then this winter when you're back from tour, let's do
absolutely.
We'll do a live session on the court.
Yeah, sure they would let us. A halftime show.
I went to this like private event there once. It was a charity thing
at the United Center.
Yeah.
Okay.
And I went to chat with. It's a long story, but I went. And I
with Michael Jordan.
No, MJ was not there. I did meet Caruso, which was cool, and one of their like Hall of Famers from like the 70s or 80s. I don't remember his name. It was someone I've never even heard of. It was a while back. Got to meet them both, which was cool, and they were really nice and just so big.
Yeah. Oh my God.
So big.
Even the guys you think are small.
Yeah, Caruso's not that big, but he was big.
It's crazy. Yeah.
Yeah, and
interviewing basketball players is like one of the most humiliating.
Oh my God! Can you imagine Shaq?
Life. Yeah.
How you doing? What's up? How you doing?
Like in person.
Shaq Diesel.
I'm like truly just looking straight up.
Right.
And most likely at someone younger than you too.
That's
it's
the crazy about it.
Like
Zion Williamson or Williams, whatever his last name is. He's got to be what 6'9".
Oh yeah, I'm not sure,
and
but
like
he's
270,
22 or
and
something.
he's 23, and I'm like 11. I remember I remember when September 11th happened before he was born. You know,
and
all of a sudden he's just like, "Hey, how you doing?" Just like looking down at you, dunk flips over you and stuff. But
it's a bad dream that you have often.
At this event, I like snuck off because I realized when you dress well and look sharp and you look older, you can't like get in trouble anymore.
Oh, sure. It's just
like it's so hard to get in trouble. You're like, oh, sorry, didn't know. Oh, sorry, you're good, sir. Just go that way.
Yeah.
When you were a degenerate teenager, though, you can get arrested. Call
if
your
you
parents.
just act aloof and confident,
and you just gotta look stern. Make sure trimmed up on your beard. Your glasses aren't broken with tape in the middle. Like all these things that are indicators. Like this is a serious person.
Yeah.
So I knew that, and so I sneak off. I dip behind some security, and I find myself onto the Bulls court.
Oh, fuck yeah.
Empty, nearly pitch black.
That's
there's like
so sick.
Just lights from like the windows.
Yeah.
And there's like one light on, and it was so cool.
And
I'm just like
following
walking.
you. Like
No one was around. I like snuck around and looked. No one's around. I finished my last chicken finger. I go up on the court. I'm like walking around. I'm like looking at the nets. I'm
That's
like, dude,
so
I need.
sick.
I was trying to find a
Yeah, I
basketball.
want a ball so bad.
I couldn't
yeah,
find a ball, and I was like, I probably should get out of here. I'm gonna get in trouble.
Yeah.
I'm like pushing it. I'm on the court. Dress.
I didn't know.
No, I was looking for the bathroom.
Yeah.
I was looking for MJ. I was looking for MJ.
That's sick though. It's really cool when you get to have those experiences though, where you're like, "Fuck!" Like I am here in this building that I've maybe seen on TV or maybe have seen pictures.
Been
of or
way up. I've
something.
always been like, way up there.
Yeah.
I've never sat too close at a Bulls game.
No, yeah. I've only been to one NBA game actually.
Oh, really?
One Bulls game. I covered college games there when I still worked in Champaign.
Oh, I played there.
I played there a couple times, and they would have the Big Ten tournament there sometimes. So
There was a year they were good, right?
A few, yeah.
Like really good. Like went to the Final Four.
Oh, like 2004, 2005 was like their.
That's
big
when
year.
it was because that's
Late
when I was
80s,
really,
they were
really
good.
paying attention.
Yes, yeah.
It's when like JJ Redick was on Duke.
Yeah, it was
and
around
stuff.
that time. Yeah.
I remember that really well because it was a big ordeal when U of I obviously. went
Yeah,
there.
they love their basketball team down there, but it is not really consistently good. So it's just like okay.
No, but they. I remember hearing a student told me the other day U of I was having a hard time finding computer science professors because now if you go get a PhD in computer science, you can make way more money.
Okay, not being a
Not
professor,
being a professor,
of course,
not
yeah,
starting
yeah,
out at
yeah.
$80,000 a year with a
Yeah,
PhD,
yeah.
but like 200 working for the federal government or
yeah.
NASA or SpaceX or
People will
whatever,
most often
Google,
choose money.
Chat GPT 1 million that's going to come out when they replace you and your band and
With
you know,
AI,
there's
AI
Chat
Sean.
they're going to replace us. How does it feel? Are you going to
Yeah.
cave or are you going to resist?
These will be talking soon enough.
The
I'll probably
microphones?
cave.
You okay?
No, I would love to resist as long as possible. It is very difficult to. Yeah.
You put
The
your back
phone
into a corner.
conversation. Yeah, you
like
are, for
have to
sure.
go through it, otherwise you fall behind.
Yeah.
If
yeah,
you fall
totally.
behind on certain technology, you
Yeah.
are a ghost in the wind.
The amount of times I've thought about like, what if I just don't, what if I forego having a cell phone and just like rely on people? Like you have to call me or like come knock on my fucking front door if you
Or
want.
eventually
But
people think you're just strange.
no one would. I would have zero people in my life.
Right.
Like no one.
I was just talking about this the other day with my friend, and
no
I
one
was
would
like,
want to go through.
if you don't have a computer
Yeah.
and don't have a phone and like use old technology, and say you're single and trying to meet somebody, and someone sets you up with a person or a friend comes over, they're just gonna like I'm talking like 10 years from now where everyone's
Sure.
using, Oculus and ChatGPT and it's Neuralinks tapped in your brain. They're gonna think you're a weirdo.
Oh sure.
Even if you're not, you can be
It's
really
weird
nice and you have
to-
books and you're well read and
Yeah,
smart,
yeah.
but because you're not keeping up with any sense of normalcy, they're gonna think you're crazy. Like,
I mean,
I don't know.
social interactions now without like a place setter or like without a reason are always feel uncomfortable.
Can you give me an
And
example?
not to me, but like I can see other people get uncomfortable. Like if you walk up to somebody at a gas station and ask for directions, like if your phone didn't work or something. This is a made up example,
Yeah.
but like something that could very well happen any day. I think they'd be like, "What the fuck are you talking about?"
Can't you just
like,
Google it?
yeah, exactly. It's like I don't fucking know. Like you figure it out. Like there's a very like fend for yourself attitude now,
Yeah.
which kind of it sucks, of course, and everyone's expected to know everything. And if you
Right.
don't, you're an idiot, or you're like behind, or not paying attention to the things you should be paying attention to, or whatever. It's very difficult to keep up. But
Yeah, it is. There's whenever someone's like, "Oh, did you hear about this news?" I'm like,
I tried. Yeah.
I'm trying to like just keep up with my work, my job,
For
my
sure,
career. I
yeah,
can't
yeah,
even-
yeah, of course.
I can't keep up. I now understand what it is to be an adult.
Yeah,
Like when we look back at our parents, we wondered why, or aunts, uncles, any adults when you were a kid, why are they so cranky?
yeah.
Why are they mad? Why are they bossy? Why are they like, ugh?
Why are they
And you now
complaining about
know.
cell
Why are they drinking so much alcohol? It's like, oh, now you know. Why do they smoke?
Yeah.
It's like, oh, because life is so hard and
impending
stressed.
doom.
Pending doom, funerals, weddings,
Yeah.
baby showers, parties you never
Yeah,
heard of,
yeah.
christenings,
Uh-huh.
bar mitzvah. I mean, the list, you're like, I gotta go to this thing. Sometimes I'm like, when I find out I'm not
should take
invited
a
to something, I
break.
get so excited. I'm like, yes, I don't have to go to this.
Hell yeah. I hear you.
Oh man, and it's so funny because like I love that traditionally. I know there's new rules and exceptions to everything now, but traditionally, women were the only ones going to like baby showers.
Sure.
Like,
I don't know. I don't know if I've
You're
like,
like-
had to, I don't know if I've had to deal with baby showers or anything yet. To where
Because
I
you're
even, like,
not.
no.
You see what I'm saying? Like mostly women have had
Kind
to
of in
do
my
it.
20s, Ben. So.
But no, most women are the ones who get invited to baby showers.
Sure.
I think. Because I've never been invited to any of them.
I'm saying sure. I can see society pushing that on people, but I have no clue. I don't know the rules of baby showers.
Well,
I have no friends with
So they get
babies.
invited to them.
Well, not.
But
that's
they
not
always
accurate,
complain
but like, yeah.
about them. And it's funny to me. Like, why do you guys keep doing this? Just stop. Like, why
Yeah,
do
we
you
don't
keep-
have to have like a birthday party, or we don't have to have like like weddings are a big thing. I think that's a thing that's maybe on the forefront of
That's a big one.
of like, or on my
Have you been to a lot
horizon or
of
anything.
them?
But like a lot of friends are starting to get married and stuff. A lot
Yeah.
of starting to get invites and stuff. Next year is a lot of planning, I think, for me to be at close friends' weddings and
Yeah.
stuff. And I absolutely would. It's gonna be awesome. It's gonna be very fun. But I can see like when you're like, oh, it's not someone that I'm very close to. Like, do you have to
Yeah.
like invite?
When they're really, really
I don't
close
know, yeah,
and
yeah.
you know it's going to be a fun wedding, it is fun.
Of course, yeah. It's fun to just like it's like, oh, like getting all of our friends back together. Like it's very rare that
They're going
everyone,
to say all the food.
all the food, getting all the free food that you can put in Ziploc baggies and take home.
Yeah, the friend thing's fun when you get to see a ton
No,
of people.
yeah, because it is rare when you become an adult to like get. It's not the same like when you're hanging out at DZ when you could just text people and be like, hey yo, come over, we're all hanging out. I mean, you absolutely could, but like no one, like you said, you just had that dread of like being invited somewhere. No one would come over unless they had to.
Yeah, I mean, a lot of people. Well, because it was always like the no parents.
Yeah,
And like no rules, and like there's like this theater room and a dope sound system,
Sure,
and we got the studio in the basement, and plenty of options. Like if I don't want to be in the house, I can go in the patio.
Yeah.
If I want to be on the patio, I can go by the bonfire. If I want to be in the bonfire, I can chill in the garage. There was like 10 options per hangout, so it wasn't that hard to get people to come over. It was actually it'd be more hard if it was like kind of like a planned thing. But if it was just like a random hang, everyone would show up. But if it was like trying to plan something out, that's where you get resistance because people don't.
Yeah.
They don't want to, like, they have no problem showing up. They don't want to do the
But
whole,
yeah, if there's
I have
not like
obligations.
yeah,
Can we just do nothing and hang out, you know?
for sure.
Do you still hang out with a lot of the friends you came up with?
Yeah. Those are like still my best friends. It's difficult when you're on the road because
Yeah.
I think, it's hard to, like the same thing that you're talking about with obligations. It's like no one wants to text. No one wants to like I mean, I'll try to call people. I say that, but I don't. Like, no one does. It's very hard to like keep up with people
It's
when you're
so
not seeing
hard.
each other in person. Like you have to see each other in person. And that's a very difficult thing that
Yeah.
I think all of us, as in like the people I know touring and playing music or traveling or doing a weird job that causes them to be out of town for a while, like have to deal with. And it's very weird and difficult, but
There's higher expectations now. When our parents were younger, I don't know how old your parents are, but I'm assuming they were around in the 70s and 80s. The expectations to like have to hang out and see people was so easy because there was no internet.
sure.
You never
yes.
saw
Yeah,
anybody.
Yeah.
You couldn't text. You had to just call someone's home
Yeah.
phone. You didn't even have a cell phone. So it's like you hung out with who you hung out with. You saw people randomly if you saw them.
Yeah.
And that's it. The expectations were not the same.
Yeah.
You can't be like, you're not answering my text, but I see you on Instagram.
Yeah, I don't want to be
You
like
can't do any of
inundated by
that.
like someone's daily life. Like I love everybody, but fuck, I don't care. Like no one cares about like what I'm doing 24/7
Right.
either. And I like try to play the game sometimes, and it's so forced, and it makes me feel like shit to like post anything. I stopped tweeting.
Well, why
a
don't
long
you just
time
do stuff
ago.
like about the band then?
I do, but then it's like, oh, you self-righteous fuck. Like all you do is just
Well, yeah,
tweet about or like
yeah,
but,
I see.
post about
It's-
yourself. I don't know. Like
Isn't it tricky?
It is tricky, but it's
Yeah.
like I want people to remember I'm alive. You
I mean,
know,
as long
like
as
while
you're
I'm
nice
here,
about
I
it,
guess.
you're not like pompous about
Oh
it.
no, I would hope not.
I didn't
But
seem
like
like it.
even just I don't know. I and that's like the same thing that we were talking about before, where someone says something nice and like I hear it as like, oh fuck, maybe I should not do that, or I don't know. Like I get worried about
Yeah.
what someone else is thinking without them even thinking that. But yeah, I feel weird posting anything at all or like updating anyone about my life as if it's important or more important than hearing about theirs. You know, it's
Yeah.
like it feels strange. And I know this comes literally a minute, probably. You check the tape after me saying I don't give a fuck. Of course I give a fuck about like everything that someone does. But like you know what we're talking about, like mundane
Yeah.
updates. It's like you don't need to share that with me, but I'm happy to listen.
But there are some things
But,
you
like,
do get excited when someone
Yeah,
shares. Like,
yeah.
I think there's a balance, and it's like my friend, a friend of mine, has a really funny saying, and it almost applies to a lot of other things. He says, "You know porn when you see it."
Yeah, that's the Supreme Court. Is that
Right?
Are those your friends?
He borrowed it from the
That's your
Supreme
9
Court.
friends.
He borrowed it from the Supreme Court. I know, because you know it's
It's a
funny.
very
that you
famous
said
ruling.
that. The fact that you said that, he says it, and then someone else is like, "Isn't it a Supreme Court thing?" And he's
"Nah, I
like,
came up with
"Yeah."
that."
And I was like, "Damn!" So you and the Supreme I can't speak it out. You and the Supreme Court think identically.
Yeah.
So like
On
the
every
Supreme
issue,
Court
yeah.
said, in porn, you know when you see it. The posting thing,
Yeah.
you know when you see it when it's like
Someone fishing for shit or
verse,
whatever.
like
Yeah,
this
yeah.
type of like good, genuine thing that no one's really mad or annoyed that they saw.
Of course, yeah.
And you could just kind of, it just feel it. It's just,
Yeah.
I think we have a good sense for it because it's the same thing you have in real life, telling when someone's being disingenuous versus genuine.
Yeah.
And you almost, it's harder to tell through filters and through photographs, but you could still, you can kind of see it a little bit. And sometimes you can get fooled.
Yeah. There's still just like an emptiness to it, though. I don't like.
What about when it's other
getting-
people's promotion?
I think it's fine. You know, I'm not promotion about anything. Like I just had a baby. Like of course, like you know, whatever. It could be whatever post or anything. It's like very. I'm happy to see that, and I'm listening. But there's no way to convey to them that you're listening other than like, oh, I clicked like or like
I guess you leave a
commented or
comment,
something.
Yeah, that's the only
But
thing.
like even that is like.
Text, you can
Hard.
text them.
Yeah, absolutely, yeah.
Yeah.
You're poking holes.
You're like,
you can, you know,
you can
talk
write
to them.
You can write them a
Fucking
note.
talk
You
to
can send them
them.
a letter in the mail.
Of course,
The
I know.
USPS still exists.
Yeah, but it's like hard to.
I'm kidding. I know what you mean. I texting is probably the best thing you can do if you see it and it's like close. You're like, oh, cool, and you can
absolutely
send
try to do that.
Yeah.
Yeah, but I mean, like even like receiving that sometimes. And maybe this makes me seem ungrateful or something, but like I imagine that they're like, oh, cool, it's very nice, but then 2 seconds later they're thinking about something else already. It's not like you're actually sitting down with them and talking about this thing and hearing about it. You're just saying like, hey, I acknowledge that happened. Like, yes, congrats, but it just feels empty.
I know.
And
what do we do?
Sharing stuff feels empty. It feels like you're just getting on like a soapbox to a crowd of people who have headphones on and blackout glasses. Like they're not seeing or hearing anything you're doing, but you're still like addressing the world. And it's like, no, you're not. Like, I don't know. It's weird.
I know what you mean.
That's the way, that's how I guess, I don't know if that conveys anything that I meant to convey, but that's why
I
feels
see what
weird
you're
to
saying.
share shit. I don't know.
And I agree with you. It's why for the most of the time that I post stuff, I try. Once in a while, I'll sneak something in there because I do have a lot of friends and family who genuinely like, what is going on with your personal life? So I'll throw something really seldomly.
Of course, yeah.
But I just promote other people.
Yeah.
Like, it's just like this band from here, that artist from here, this podcast interview. Like, I'm within it, but I'm always just promoting. So it's like, I feel the same way.
Yeah,
It's the only thing that keeps me able to do it because I hate doing it. So I'm like, well, if I just post other people's stuff and I'm just a vessel for it, then like that's fine. I could live with that. But as far as like me, yeah, I'm not a big fan of it. I try not to. And if I do it again, it's like, man, my 200 family members on the internet probably are wondering what's going on with me. So like I let them know like, hey, I'm here. Like that's it.
I wish there was like maybe, I'm sure there are, but like maybe you can make like different avenues where you could like update certain people. Or something. I'm sure there's ways if you like sat down and
Instagram has
thought
that
about
the
it.
close friend story thing, right?
Sure, yeah. So maybe that's a way
That
to do
works.
that. But like addressing your family versus addressing your friends or something like that. Like if you wanted to, I don't know.
I usually just text my mom. Like she's like
It doesn't
she's
have
the
to be
bat
through
signal to
social
the rest of the
media.
family. What's up?
I said I'm sorry. I'm just like thinking of everything through social media right now.
I'll
Of
just
course,
be
you
like-
could just call your mom.
It's like, Mom, tell everyone that I made it to like wherever.
Sure,
to
sure,
New York.
sure, yeah,
okay, and then everyone in the family, because she She'll just send it out. She'll
Yeah,
text everyone.
yeah.
Everyone chit chats. The
My mom
gossip.
does that as well.
Right, it
Stuff.
works.
Yeah,
Because my mom, they're so bad at following me on social media.
Yeah.
So they're the only ones I really want to update.
yeah.
But yeah, I never understood what people are doing on social media that aren't promoting or pushing anything.
That's.
'Cause
I guess
if it were up to me, if I was not doing what I'm doing, I'd be like, I'd be out there hiding away in the log
not
cabin.
using this. Yeah,
You know?
yeah. That's what it feels forced because I feel forced to use it, I
Yeah.
guess. And like yeah, of course it's like an easy way to keep up to date with everybody, but I still have that same feeling about that's specifically about personal life stuff where I'm like sharing something that's so important to me. And I feel like I'm just sharing it on like deaf ears or something like that. And vice versa, because of just like so much shit is just coming through your face at so much, like at such a
The
speed.
traffic
like
is
you're just
ramped
going,
up so much.
Yeah, so
It's also different now. The algorithms are not what they used to be.
no, you're
They
just
don't
that's another
promote you well
you're,
anymore.
Of course, just fed stuff that you like an AI algorithm thinks that you want to like, or I don't know. It's fucking depressing. I'm sorry to
to
get
me,
on
it's
this. Yeah.
guitars, clothes, coffee,
Yeah.
and like.
Which of course, like you like those things, but like you don't want your whole life to be thinking
No.
about that. That's not
No.
healthy or good. I don't know, like for any specific 3 things. Like,
Do you just treat it as like a job now? Like earlier, you were talking about being a band, and it's a business. Do you just treat the social media thing like it's a business?
not like business in a way to like make money, but like I know I need to stay present on there. The thing is that I have to balance it with the 2 public things that I do, which becomes very tricky. Like being like a reporter and also being a musician. Like
right.
I kind of treat Instagram for like music stuff only, maybe
For Jupiter Styles.
or Ratboys, or any just music.
We haven't even
related
talked about
thing.
that yet.
That's fine.
For those listening, Sean's also in his band, Jupiter Styles.
Yeah.
And that was kind of like the continuation of Single Player.
Yeah. And yeah, I'm working on like a new record now, but like
Cool.
may change the name again just because that's not like a band that I really need to worry about. Like, oh, I really need to like make things work with it. Like that's truly just passion project.
Yeah, it'll
at
always
this
be there.
point.
It's just your music
so
that
it's
you'll
like
do for the rest of your
I can call it
life.
whatever. I can do
Yeah.
whatever. Like I feel so much pressure, but like also no pressure at the same time. If that makes any sense. With that, but yeah, I don't know.
You should explain that because that sounds like a big oxymoron.
Yeah,
I feel
I'm full
no
of
pressure
that,
with
yeah.
all this pressure. I feel.
Like there is no real pressure to feel with that band because there's nothing from the outside pressuring it all.
Yeah, okay.
Like I know like friends want to hear the music or whatever, but that's realistically like about it. There's like not people hitting me up to like, when's the next record coming out or anything. There's no one hitting me up to go on tour or anything like that with that band. As much as like I've always like wished that, it's just not the case. And like when it comes to being an adult and using your time wisely, it's like hard to find the energy to put fully behind that as well as putting fully behind this thing and that thing and stuff. So so there should be no pressure, but of course it's like a representation of like 100% my art and my, my person. So there is a lot of pressure in that way where it's like the pressure of thinking about yourself and how you want yourself presented or, cemented in the world, I guess. Like that's the pressure. But like really the scale is so small. So it's like there's no real pressure at all.
I see what you're saying.
So I guess that's the oxymoron that I meant. But yeah.
And then with Ratboys, you feel a different kind of pressure.
Yeah, I mean, because that's like a group of 4 of us now at this point putting in, like all our effort to make this thing as a team work and stuff. And it's not just me that I have to worry about like representing as well.
Yeah.
Or like supporting, and so you need to, like you were mentioning, like the baseball analogy or the football analogy or whatever it was.
Basketball.
Sorry.
Close.
Yeah, they all have players. But yeah, it's all that stuff that comes with that. Like there's those pressures of like being a good friend and being a good, like bandmate or teammate or however you want to call it,
I play ball. I
But-
play ball everyone.
Yeah, I can ball.
Is Julia the point guard and Dave the shooting guard?
I would say, sure. Yeah, I don't know.
I don't know where this analogy is going.
Yeah, we're missing no, Marcus would be a good center.
Yeah.
He's tall enough.
Well, it's just drums are always the center. They're the
Sure,
foundation
sure.
of
Yeah.
down low.
So there's a mystery fourth person, or we're the rare
Sound
team
guy.
that plays with four
It's a
people.
sound person.
Yeah.
Manager.
Yeah, it very much was Julia and Dave before, before I joined the bands. Very much.
What year did you
so.
join the band?
Late 2016 technically, but we first shows were like early 2017, and then we like kicked off on the GN tour and stuff like that with that album, and then Marcus joined about a year later, and we kind of just when I was there, and it was like, oh, okay, yeah, it's like starting to become more of like recognized band or whatever, where there's like more than just two of us or one of us or whatever now. And now, like after Marcus joined, it's like, okay, we have like a solid group that's like, if one of us can't play the show, then we can't play the show. Versus like back in those years when I like first joined, it was like, if someone couldn't play the show, it's like, oh, we'll find someone else to play the show. Like for an example of like, oh, we're like truly a band now. Versus like before, I was maybe just like helping out or touring.
Or they'll do like at my house, they did a
whatever.
2-piece thing once.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah,
That was, I think you played that show too. I think it was Jupiter Styles, Ratboys duo, Special Death, and Neighbors You Know.
I could see that. Yeah, that's all the same era.
Yeah, 2018.
Yeah,
November 2018.
Yeah,
something like that.
yeah.
Yeah.
But yeah, like where that would maybe be the case back then, but now
Right.
it's like a full organized like band where like everyone has responsibilities and yeah, it's all like equal parts in many ways and stuff. So yeah, that's the evolution of that.
I mean, it's been a
Yeah,
it's been a
yeah.
long evolution.
It has, yeah,
because I remember when I first met them and saw them, and I think I heard their music on Bandcamp before I met them. I remember hearing the Stanza
Yeah,
in like,
and that was just Julia and Dave at that
Right.
point. Yeah,
in like 2011 or something. I was like,
Yeah,
I think
April
Vinny
2011.
Chrysostom showed me that. And I was like,
That and the Easter EP came out on the same day, I think, or maybe like a
oh,
week
Easter
apart.
was with
But
Kyle.
they both released like their first EPs at the same.
This makes
time,
sense.
April 2011. Yeah.
I remember these two women, old friends of mine, Claire and Maggie. Claire
Yeah.
Teeling and Maggie
Teeling,
Wishlami?
yeah.
They showed, I think they showed Vinny
Yeah.
Easter and Ratboys, and then Vinny
Mm-hmm.
showed me because him and I were recording. It was like 2010.
Yeah.
We were recording back then, 2010, 11, and just finding any new music, especially music that was more stuff I was into,
Mm-hmm.
was so hard where we were from. Again, this is pre like just on Instagram.
Yeah,
Right now, you
yeah.
just Google awesome indie rock bands in Chicago, and
Yeah.
like 500 will pop up on Google. Back then, you just couldn't
Yeah.
do that. And now it's so easy when students of mine or friends are like, how do I find this? I'm like, dude, it is so easy now. You just Google
Yeah,
exactly what you're thinking. Just Google it.
It'll appear,
Where's a
yeah,
cool
yeah.
venue to play for mid-size? Like
Yeah,
everything
yeah,
will just
yeah,
pop up.
yeah.
But back then it was a friend had to show you.
Yeah, yeah.
know?
Or you started to have to go down like the rabbit hole or the family tree of that band or
Yes.
something, which is such a beautiful way to find
Mhm.
like get ingrained from the outside into a community and
Yes.
be like into that music scene or whatever
Mm-hmm.
and learn more about the artist as a whole. But
Mm-hmm.
but sorry to cut you off. Yeah.
No, I was thinking about those times and seeing
Yeah.
the whole trajectory of Ratboys the last 13, 14 years.
Mhm.
And yeah, it's cool. I remember one of the best sounding times I saw you guys was February 2020. It was an album release show at Lincoln Hall.
At Lincoln Hall,
Yeah.
yeah. Yeah, that was the last show before
Pandemic.
the
It was like
pandemic.
2 weeks
Yeah.
before.
Yeah. We were
It was an
ready
awesome
to go on
show.
tour.
A week later, we played at Cole's. Neighbors, you know, our band played at
Uh-huh.
Cole's. And I remember, I think
It was starting to get scary at
it was
that
starting to
point.
get weird. It
It
was
was kind of-
Saturday before the final Saturday.
The week before that at the Ratboys show, it was like
Yes.
kind of something where we were like, wouldn't it be crazy if like our
Yeah.
tour got shut down because
Yeah.
of this? Like, no way. Like, it
Yeah.
was kind of something you were like almost like joking about, but it was like in the news enough where everyone knew what you're talking about.
Yep.
But you started to get weird at your
Yeah, because I think that show was like
The
the
week
last
later?
week of February.
yeah.
Or maybe like
It's
February
February
20th.
29th. It's 29th because I think it was a leap year. Yeah.
So yours 29th, then we were the 7th. We were a week later.
Mm-hmm.
And then the following Saturday, it was
Yeah,
shut
that's the
down 2
third-
days later.
Oh yeah.
So I think it was
That was when
Monday
we
the
were supposed to leave for
16th they
tour.
shut down. So it would have been Saturday, November 14th, I think was the last Saturday before things got shut down.
Okay. Yeah.
We played a week before that, and it was starting to creep in the news. And I was like, I don't know, would they really do that? And I remember thinking, like, would that even work? Like, would this work if we like shut down? Like,
It
I
was,
so
like it's
confused.
like it was not something that you could comprehend at that point. Maybe.
No, no one had an
Like
answer.
truly movie stuff.
Oh my
You know,
God.
like that was our only reference for anything. But
So many times I was in a downtown area that first couple of weeks, either driving or having to go to the store.
oh yeah, it's like no one.
No, I was in
Yeah.
downtown LaGrange. I'm not sure if you ever
Yeah.
hung out in downtown LaGrange.
No, I've never.
It's just like a,
Sorry.
it's a fancy little west suburb town.
I was gonna say I don't even know where that is. I
If
know.
you took LaGrange Avenue,
I know the street. Yeah.
all the way up to like Ogden Avenue. It's where Ogden Avenue and LaGrange
Okay.
intersect.
Yeah, I would have never.
It would be like, it's by like, if you went to like Cermak, like 22nd Street. It's a little bit south of that.
Yeah.
It's a downtown, cool little neighborhood. Stores, storefronts everywhere, little theater, coffee shops. It's usually bumping and packed. Just
Yeah.
0 cars, 0 people, and like an intercom saying like, "Please stay." It was like
Oh,
a
like
post-apocalyptic.
repeating?
Yeah, like
Holy
please stay.
fuck.
Like a police car going out with
my
a little
God.
siren, like stay inside. I'm like,
Holy shit!
whoa, what?
That is so scary.
It was like Tuesday or Wednesday. It was like, why
Yeah.
wouldn't like the world
Holy
just
fuck.
stopped? And I was like, this is crazy.
Yeah, I do regret not doing like. It kind of almost felt like kind of cheesy at the time to like go out and do like a photography project or some sort of
Easy
like
to do then.
project that documented that time a little bit better than just like what I was doing at that time because I was doing nothing.
Yeah.
But like, yeah, like it would have been. I'm sure there's plenty of people who did photography projects at that time
yeah.
and stuff. But like,
or band stuff.
like,
I mean,
holy
band
fuck.
practice. If you live with your band, or you can
that's
like
the
keep-
only reason like Ratboys is able to keep
Right.
going. Yeah.
Yeah, you
But-
were able to just have your small bubble and just
yeah.
right?
I lived with Julie and Dave at the time.
Right.
And Marty and Catherine Espada, Marty Silha from from Freudian Slip. and
Yeah.
stuff. But yeah.
Oh, I didn't know he
or-
lived with you.
Yeah, he was there. He's still at that house now.
Okay.
But yeah, so the three of us were able to or New Color, sorry, is Marty's band that I meant to shout out.
Yeah, with don't tell me who. It's with great guitar player. Why am I drawing a blank on
With-
his name?
Was Jamie in that band?
It wasn't with Jamie. It was Brendan Smythe,
Brendan Smythe for sure.
Marty, and
Pat?
Pat.
Yeah.
Dang it,
Okay, yeah.
You said his name. I was like
Yeah.
trying to think of his name. I totally forgot.
I think I was only able to see them like once or twice, so that's why
They
kinda
did. I
just,
did a
like-
session with them like 2014.
Yes, yeah, and that's what it's like. Oh, it's 10 years ago, so I can't
Yeah.
remember like who.
Them and I think someone at a house show in Oak Forest. A couple of times, different bands. I don't know. But yeah, I remember Pat, very neat guitar player.
Oh my gosh, yeah.
I remember
yeah,
even then I was like, what the heck?
Yeah. Oh my god.
Like,
Yeah.
It's been the best thing about filming and recording thousands of bands and acts and takes is
Yeah.
just seeing
Just
the
watching,
best
like, front
musicians
row, yeah.
ever. Just sitting there,
Yeah,
filming,
yeah.
recording, getting levels, and then when they leave, I get to listen to it all over again.
Oh,
and be like,
yeah,
"Did
yeah.
that?" My
Like,
favorite's
that
when
fucking
it's
happened?
happening,
and you're like, it.
and when it's
I didn't
happening,
hear
and
that
I'm
part,
like,
did I? Yeah.
I'm like, this is gonna be so sick to edit. Like I
Yeah,
could feel like
yeah.
I know what's going on right now,
Mhm.
and this is not easy to do.
Yeah.
And I'm so glad I get to like
Mhm.
as soon as they leave, I'm gonna transfer the video and audio and like start editing. It's
or
gonna be
you
so
start
cool.
like kind of like making the
Oh,
edits
yeah.
in your head.
I do. I'm
already,
like, I'll look at the
like almost like
phone,
markers,
and it'll say
you know?
like
Yeah.
240. I'm like, that's a great
That's
clip
the spot
right
yeah,
there.
Yeah,
Glad I panned here.
Mhm.
I'm totally gonna mute everything. Like
yeah.
instantly
That's
start
like
doing it.
true like live magic stuff. I don't.
Mhm.
You can't. experience that unless you're doing something live.
Yeah.
That's cool.
Yeah, no, there's been so many good musicians. It's humbled me with like
Oh,
my
for sure. Yeah.
skill set and also my preconceived notions about certain styles and genres.
Yeah, definitely.
You know, I used to before I did all this, I was like bluegrass and old time music is so. First of all, I don't know the difference of it. I'm talking 10 years ago. I'm like, I don't know what the difference is between bluegrass and old time, and isn't that like corny old people music?
Sure.
And then I started working with these musicians.
And
Like,
you're
these
like,
are the best
your
musicians I've
mind
ever
is
seen.
blown,
In my life.
yeah.
These guys, gals, these people are
Yeah.
highly trained. They've been playing fiddle since they were 5.
Yeah, those are the people who like grew up with
Oh
like
my
parents teaching
God,
them.
they're nuts. They're all
instruments
so
and shit.
good and well, just mannered with their music abilities. Like they're so intelligent with music.
Mhm.
It's just a different style they chose to play, and I got into it from seeing it right in my face.
Yeah.
It's hard to get into if you're not into that timbre and that style
And
by
if you
hearing it
don't
on the
see
radio
it
or
live,
something.
oh yeah, you have
Exactly.
to like see something
It's the
live
live
to
thing.
really.
You see where they interact, they raise their leg, they all know it means one more measure and it
Mhm.
means this. And if you were doing that, it's like this choreographed,
That's sick. Yeah.
planned but improv experience of standards, you know, and they do
Yeah.
standards. And the same thing with jazz. When I'm like, jazz is cool, but they're always just playing these standards. But like
Still
the
blows
way
my
they
fucking
do it.
mind.
Yeah, the
Yeah,
way
I
they
just,
do
like,
it.
still can't wrap
it's
my head around that.
crazy, especially the singing.
It's
Some of the best vocalists I've heard have been
Oh,
jazz
yeah, yeah.
singers. I'm like, oh my God. Yeah, it's cool. It's
Yeah.
been fun. And even like metal, I was never really into metal.
Yeah,
and I'm
but
watching these guys just go
you
nuts.
maybe start to pay attention to one instrument.
Yeah,
or
what
then
they're
then you start to
doing.
hear everything.
Mhm.
Like, it's not just like a wall of noise. anymore.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah. So for those listening who might think there's not a lot of good music out there anymore, or they don't know where to start or
I
begin. I
hate-
hate
yeah,
that.
yeah.
When people say there is. Trust me.
Oh my gosh, yeah.
So
like way
much.
more than ever,
Ever.
from before.
Te-
probably,
Actually,
yeah,
there's
yeah.
more music
Like,
now
Yeah.
than ever before.
Yeah.
And I know you can argue that the market's saturated. It's only saturated if you look at it that way.
Sure, yeah.
Just
yeah.
take off those lenses and put on some rose-colored glasses.
Yeah,
and
yeah.
get creative with your keyboard or your typing and make sense of stuff. If you really care, make a Google Doc sheet and make sense of who you listen to, or create your algorithm, or make your algorithm work for you. Create a shuffle thing,
Yeah.
make playlists, make
It
albums.
also doesn't take very long to be like, I'm not into that band.
Yeah.
It's like literally
Yeah, just
5
go to the next
seconds
thing. You're
sometimes.
like, nah.
like, I'm
No.
good, yeah.
It's not that hard.
Yeah.
It's easier now than ever. Physically, you don't have to just wait, take a risk at a record store, like wait in line. It's like not 1978.
Yeah.
Buy the
yeah.
vinyl, and then it turns out you only like one song on
Yeah,
it. Like,
yeah.
this isn't like that anymore.
Yeah.
And it's almost the opposite. You can get into something, then go
That
buy
is
their
fun.
vinyl.
Do you ever do that when you go to like a record store or any sort of whenever you buy music or something like that? Do you just ever decide like, okay, I'm gonna go in here and just pick out something based on what it looks like without knowing what it is?
Not so much. I want to try that more.
It's nice,
but
to,
not
like,
so much
kind of,
not
like,
knowing what it is, but loosely, like always knowing I wanted to get into that record.
You can read the label, of course, but like just
Yeah.
going in based off that and based off the information that's on the packaging.
Almost, but not fully
Okay.
that.
Yeah,
which
yeah.
that actually does sound
It's
fun.
fun, yeah,
'Cause I used
yeah.
to do movies.
Yeah,
All the
yeah,
time.
exactly. Yeah, same
You know,
thinking.
go to
yeah, yeah.
Blockbuster, like, this looks wacky.
Yeah, it's like
I'm gonna get Leprechaun 3. Let's
I
watch.
like movies in general. Like I'm going to like this in some way, whether it's like
Yeah.
love it, like
Uh-huh.
just okay with it and it pass the time, or like hate watch it or something.
Hate
like,
watch it.
Yeah, like that. Just same thing with movies.
Like
for
watch
sure.
a bad movie on purpose.
Yes,
It's
I
kind
don't-
of fun.
I don't do that that often, but I
If you're with friends,
with
it's fun.
friends, yeah, never by myself.
No,
that
I've
would
never-
be like so torturous.
Just
Like-
drinking a fifth of
like
bourbon by yourself, like
maybe
this.
every 45
This
minutes.
Troll 2 movie sucks.
the like most pathetic giggle. Like,
Why am I watching The Room again? This movie
Yeah.
sucks. No, yeah, the movie like The Room, you know, movies like that.
Yeah,
Watching them with friends is great.
Oh yeah, that's like the community of like making fun of something.
Yeah.
But like making fun of something in a good natured way,
Yeah,
if that's possible. But you know what I mean.
I do. I
Yeah.
do. I watched a really bad movie recently with a friend from Seattle. We were watching Friday the 13th
Okay.
on Friday night, on this past
Yes,
Friday the 13th.
Yeah, that was last week. Yeah.
Yeah, like 3 days ago, yeah. And I right?
Technically. last
Yeah,
week.
I
No, but yeah, 3
technically,
days
yeah.
ago.
I haven't seen it in so long that I didn't remember any of it.
Yeah, I wouldn't remember a thing.
It was so bad.
I'm sure. Yeah.
You know, it's like a $60,000 budget movie.
Sure.
It was so bad. It wasn't even like, I also watched the Texas Chainsaw Massacre, the
Okay.
1974 one, for the first time since forever.
Mhm.
And that one was also low budget, but way
Used
scarier.
practical
It
effects
was
a
just
lot
better. Yeah, it was just executed better. It was way less campy, no pun intended, because
Yes, yeah.
Friday the 13th is based at a camp.
Yes, but that's like where that comes from, right? Maybe
Yeah, I
not
guess.
that movie
I
specifically,
think-
but that era
I
is like
think
always
that
like a summer camp.
Friday the
thing, yeah.
13th kind of started like the literal like campiness. Maybe,
Mhm.
I don't know. It's close to it.
Mhm.
It definitely starts around that time because it's 1980.
Yeah.
It's so corny, you know, the bad sex scenes
Mhm.
and just bad blood and just dumb. This is a bad movie. Kevin
Yeah.
Bacon's in it though. I didn't realize he was in it.
Hell yeah. Our boy. I cannot endorse or not endorse him. I have no idea.
What is? I'm gonna just do a complete
Sure.
segue to
yeah,
something
yeah.
different.
Swiping
We're
the
gonna get out of this
slate
one.
clean.
What has been the worst place you've had to stay in on tour on this planet?
Shit. I mean, I guess I don't remember where or whose friend it was, but definitely have like slept on like places where like, oh, you're straight up like on a wood floor, and it's like someone comes back in the room and they're like, hey, like watch out for like a needle on the ground, that type of shit. But like that was
that
fair.
type.
Yeah, that's like
You know, if you haven't
rare.
experienced that before.
But now that I'm like thinking about that experience specifically, was like very much like we were at the show and it's like, does anyone have a place for us to crash? And they're like, you could crash here or like here down the
Oh, you
street or
didn't
whatever.
have it planned out ahead.
Did not. No, that was like the days where you're truly flying by the seat of your pants, which is like so stupid.
Yeah, why wouldn't you just reach out?
I think because we didn't know or like didn't. Yeah, we're like younger and we're like, oh, we'll figure it out kind of thing. There was like a kind of a fun in that too. Like, oh, well, we're going here and we don't know anyone. Also, like, those are days when like the mindset of like approaching someone on social media was maybe a lot different. Where like if a stranger messaged you, it was still like, even though it was in the DIY community, it was just like, oh, that's like asking, like, is that crossing the line? Like asking too much to like also stay or something like that. But if you didn't have a friend in town, but yeah, sometimes we would just like go show up at a show and just like it's like, don't remember or don't forget to say on the mic, like you need to ask like, if anyone has a place to stay, like let us know because
And it
like, we
works
need a place
most
to
of the time,
stay.
right?
Yeah, and it's like all you're thinking about during the show is like,
You can't be
I don't know where we're
present,
gonna
right?
stay.
You're stressed, like, where we're gonna stay.
Yeah.
That's so stressful. Do you know what town this was in?
I can't remember. It was somewhere in the Midwest for sure.
Of course it was.
Because I remember the friends that I was on tour with. I think that was a tour where I was by myself. I was touring alone, but like doing different stints of the tour. Is stints the right word?
Stints?
Different legs of the tour.
Stints. Yeah.
Doing a lot of
He got a
stints.
stint put in his heart.
That's a stent I just learned
Oh,
recently.
stent.
That's why I'm questioning this.
Stilt. You're thinking of stilts.
Stilts. Yes. I did tour on
The stilts master had a stint in his heart on his long stint on the road. Yeah, I got this down here.
But yeah, different legs of the tour I would jump on with like, I kind of like, I booked it myself and would book it like, this is like 2.5 weeks. It wasn't that long, or 3 weeks or something. And it was like, okay, these people can come on tour with me to play in the band up until this point, but I want to keep touring. And so I did like 2.5 weeks with the band, and then the 2.5 weeks that were after, it was a 5-week tour. And it was the 2.5 weeks that were the second half were just me alone. And I like basically drove up to Minneapolis, hopped in the car or in their van with a few friends that played in another band. And then we played like the weekend together probably. Then I started making my way down south through like Iowa and stuff like that, and like Nebraska or whatever the fuck, and then getting to Texas and then coming back up through like Tennessee and stuff. So I kind of made like a oval around the Midwest. So I was definitely in the Midwest, but I don't remember what city it was.
We'll call it Texas.
Yeah. Probably it was north, but yeah, it was a Midwest place. Yeah.
What's been the best place you've stayed in?
Shit. I mean, it's always, I was just talking about this with, we were out on tour with a band called Free Range on the first leg of this Ratboys tour. And they are all in their early 20s. And they were kind of talking about like, where they were crashing. Because we Ratboys at this point, since the pandemic, we don't crash with friends as much. We're starting to get back into it a little bit more, but it was like a kind of hangover from the pandemic thing. We were like, we're traveling and our friends are now getting to the point where like they have families or something, or they have like other roommates with them that we don't want to like
Jeopardize.
bring illness into
Yeah.
their house. So we started staying at hotels.
Oh, that's nice.
Very nice, but like is like we were talking about at the beginning of this conversation, like pretty mundane maybe, and like a sanitized version of the place you're staying at.
It's more chill and sustainable, but way less fun.
Oh, sure, yeah.
Than like
definitely
hanging out at your buddy's
comfortable.
house you haven't seen in a while. You know?
Absolutely comfortable and like maybe necessary a lot of the times because like you are truly physically and mentally worn down. But it is very fun to stay at a friend's house and like get to hang out with them and like especially we have the luxury of like meeting people around the country and making friends around the country, and it's the only time we get to see them. But sorry, going back, we are having those conversations with Free Range who were staying at a lot of friends' houses or like, maybe a hotel if they needed to somewhere. I don't know where they stayed, but a few nights they were like, we're staying with the parents' friend or like my mom in this city or whatever. And so they were staying with like a family friend. Those are always the best places to crash because they like bend over backwards to take care of you. Whereas like other friends will be like, yeah, we got a couch and like there's some floor space, like make yourself at home, but like I'm not gonna like, I'm opening the door for you, but that's about it. Where like for staying at like an older person's place that is most likely a family friend or like someone we've met through music who just happens to be older and like self-sustaining enough to own a house.
Yeah,
they
got the goods.
Yeah, where they're like, oh yeah, we went like shopping for you.
Yeah,
we got you
stuff.
breakfast food.
We got
and
new
we're like,
shampoo
what
for
the
you.
fuck? Like,
Clean
that's so
towels.
nice.
Your own bedroom.
Yeah, so that shit's the place where it's like if you can get like space maybe on tour, so you're not like because you're in the car with everybody morning to night. And you're at the venue with them during that time.
You need some separation.
Yeah, so it is nice for everybody. Not that no one wants to be with each other, but it's just like, so you're not like all cooped up together. So you can have each other's, like you can have space and stuff for a while. It is a healthy thing. So
Absolutely.
yeah, like a place with a room and somewhere comfortable is always nice. Somewhere comfortable is always nice.
I totally respect that and get it. And I haven't toured as much as you, but I've done my fair share of road trips.
Absolutely.
And staying at people's houses. And I've learned a thing or two. And I've had a lot of people stay at my place. Even this new place here is...
Oh, staying here?
Here,
especially if they're doing sessions or something?
All the time. Yeah, I mean, I won't give away too much because it's public. But I will say the right people under the right circumstances who I trust will stay here all the time.
Yeah.
I just had Molly's band, Molly Morton's band, stayed here.
Nice.
Recently, I just had a band, or the guy from Seattle last week.
Yeah.
Nashville bands twice so far, 2 Brooklyn bands. Bands from all over, Florida, Atlanta. I don't know about the band from Singapore. I'll offer it, but we haven't talked.
Sure, yeah.
They don't know me.
I bet they would appreciate
so
the
I probably
offer
it. I offer it after the session once they get comfortable and see the place. So they know I'm not some crazy person.
Yes, yeah. I was gonna. That's
like if you guys want to stay here, because I have a futon, two air mattresses, 2 queen air mattresses, tons and pillows and blankets. I leave laundry for them to do, and then I hang up. I bring them all towels. Like there's a bathroom. Feel free to use it.
That's the nicest shit. Is
I got
when someone offers you a towel on tour.
Towels,
like touring with a wet towel is the fucking worst.
The wet towel thing is terrible, and
sucks.
offering it so they don't have to feel awkward going like, "Where's the towel? Should we take a
of
shower?"
Course. Yeah,
you just let them know like showers
it
here.
It answers both questions right away.
Exactly. Fridge is up here. If you need water, towels are right here. When you're done, clip them on the clips on the ceiling. Like just lay it all out for them. So they're like, "Oh, we don't gotta." Cool.
Yeah.
If you want to play some music, just play the guitars quietly. Like just kind of answer all their questions for them. For those looking to learn how to be a good host,
Airbnb
think of everything you would want said to you if you stayed somewhere and just do it to them.
It is nice to host people.
It's fun for me. I'm like, oh, shoot, so-and-so from some places coming tonight. Like, I've never been there. I almost feel like I get to take in that culture by talking to them. And then it's fun showing them a coffee shop to go to or let's go get some ramen. It's fun. I enjoy it.
Yeah, I very like a lot of like memorable places that we've stayed that like I cherish, but I wouldn't call them like the most comfortable. So I thought you were asking for comfort.
No, I think you were about to ask me where my worst place is.
Yeah, I want to know about that. Of course, I want to know about that.
Man, I mean, I've stayed everywhere.
Yeah.
I would say the weirdest smell I've ever experienced was in Mexico City.
Okay.
Well, we were actually staying in a nice Airbnb. I
Yeah.
went down there to record a bunch of bands and stuff, and it was great. But we were staying in a nice Airbnb, but the Mexico City air is pretty rough.
Sure.
And I was kind of stuffy because they don't have air conditioning there. And I run hot. So I'm like, it's March. So I open up the window to like get some breeze in, and it just
hits
smelled
ya,
like
yeah.
a factory just came.
Oh, yeah.
It was so bad. Like it smelled like a sulfur, like car exhaust just in your face.
Oh, man.
Like just gushing through. I just closed the window. I was like, I'm just
But
gonna get
like
hot
once
tonight.
you let it in, though, you're kind of like.
And I was also worried of like the dogs and the cats and the mice that might like crawl because there's no
Yeah.
screens. It's just a more simple way of doing things
Yeah,
down there. No screen, so anything can just come in. I was like,
Sure.
I'm just gonna suffer. It was a nice spot. That was just smell, but I'd say the
Yeah.
roughest sleep. Oh my god, there's so many. I'm sure you could have a hard time. There's just so many.
Yeah, like I had to like sleep in cars. And
Yeah,
stuff like that. Like, oh, you
cars.
can't find a place to sleep, or like the place is so fucking gross inside that like, thank you so much for letting us crash here, but like I'm going to sleep in the car, or something like that. And it's like that is a tough situation to be in, of course. And I mean, I would usually suck it up and not. I would just like sleep wherever someone offers you to sleep. But like, definitely been on tour with people who maybe were not supposed to be on tour, or like we're finding out that they were not made for touring.
That's a great point.
And like
they couldn't handle how filthy and
those
uncomfortable it
situations
is.
are tough.
It's a great point. I've
When
been
you're,
in
like,
bands with
not
people like that.
Yeah, when you're not all in sync together with like, we're diving in like,
Yeah.
at first into like this experience, whatever that means.
That's a hard thing to
And-
explain to people who have a dream of
Yeah,
touring. It's like, can
yeah.
you? You can almost test them. Like, have you grown up camping? Are you
True,
cool
yeah,
with like
yeah, yeah.
uncomfortable
Yeah, yeah,
situations like
yeah.
all the time?
It's true. Oh my god.
Are you
yeah,
cool
yeah.
with like not
Yeah.
eating well for a while
Yeah.
or not having enough money for food?
Yeah, yeah.
Okay,
Or-
then maybe you can do it.
yeah, yeah.
Also,
or if they're
and-
sick, you're probably gonna get sick
Yeah,
too, or
if everyone's
something.
sick,
It's
so
like
are you.
just accepting that we're just like a unit in
Ugh.
almost every sense of the word.
One shared body.
Yes, yeah.
I've had some really rough camping where I've like it's pouring rain and you have no tarp.
Yeah.
But if I'm gonna
yeah.
exclude camping because I did so
But
much
that's the
camping growing up.
that's the same idea where you're just like in your head, you're just like, fuck.
Bad
I guess
situation.
I'm just counting
Yeah.
the minutes now until it's morning and I can go do whatever else I was supposed to do, or like,
Yeah.
you just like whenever life moves on.
You're
from
just like, I'm
this
just gonna have to
shitty
suffer this
situation.
terrible
Yeah.
sleep and just hope for the best.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, there's been a couple like uncomfortable nights staying at people's houses where there's
Mm-hmm.
just nothing and it's really dirty. Like what you're saying, it's just
Yeah.
the most uncomfortable, the most filthy places.
Yeah.
Just really gross.
Often the most fun though. Like,
It's still
like,
fun.
yeah.
I mean, I'm not too mad. It's still fun, but it's
That's
not.
when you just like hang out instead of trying to go to sleep.
Yeah, that's when you're like, maybe if I get a little drunk and stay up till 5 a.m., I'll just pass out on the couch and I won't have to worry about how I might get fleas from it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I've definitely been in places where everyone had the fear of we have fleas now. That's the one that's in my head. I just don't want to like put certain people on blast because I love them so much. But like some friends that I've had over the years that
Oh, they brought fleas
I've
to you?
maybe crashed with.
Oh, you crashed with, yeah.
Just they lived in DIY houses and they were in their early 20s and like lived. That's how we all lived then. I don't know. It's like, I mean, I would. I don't know. Yeah,
There's a certain
It's-
point, though.
Yeah, that's what I was gonna
Like,
say.
you
I
can
would
be a
never,
little dirty, but
I would
come
say
on.
that I would hope that like I was never that messy or anything.
I don't think you
but like
were.
some places are. But the situation too is the important thing to remember because like a lot of DIY spaces are just handed down to whoever lives there at the time.
That's true.
So like other people's filth are passed on, and then it's like if I imagine if you lived there, you're like, oh well, why do I have to clean that up? It's like not my mess, and I could see how a DIY house that actively has shows like multiple nights a week and houses people to live in and gives people temporary housing while they're on tour and stuff like that. Like, absolutely can see how it gets like that.
You just
But,
described
like,
my life for like a decade.
Yeah, but I don't know if I could
It was hard.
do that. Yeah.
It was hard.
I don't know
It-
if I could consistently run
There's a
a
reason why I'm
DIY
not doing it
space.
anymore.
Yeah.
Because it is not sustainable.
Oh my gosh, no.
Some of the best times of my life.
Yeah.
Some of the hardest times of my
Yeah.
life. Wild stuff. I mean, bands staying from all over the world. People who don't speak English, people in different
Yeah.
backgrounds. So the parties were fun, the shows are fun, the events, screenings.
But like, how many
comedy nights.
issues did you run into? and
I don't
stuff? Yeah.
don't think I make enough money
Oh, sure, yeah,
to talk about the stuff I ran into without worrying about like getting sued or canceled because it was. I need to be famous with like a memoir.
Sure,
like, it's wild.
Yeah, just
Dark
dealing
stuff.
with so many people coming through your
Drugs,
place that just
abuse.
you don't have control.
People
over.
who need to stay the night because they're wanted by the police. I mean, you name it, dude. Like crazy stuff. I'm telling you, I need to be. Need to have more FU money before I start telling the real stories. No, I mean I could say stuff without giving out names and timelines. But wild stuff. The sketchy stuff, dangerous stuff.
But that's, I guess, I was about to say something that would have sounded bad, like that's your fault. But like,
but
it's like that. I guess like that's the unfortunate side of like, fuck, I'm opening my door as a DIY space to people. Like we were talking about before we went on the air with like running a DIY space. Like you're set in charge of like looking after so many people you don't even know.
Yeah,
and it's like it's pretty hard to be like a shepherd in that community, if that makes sense.
Mm-hmm.
Like not that community, but just in like a community that big where like so many people are coming in and out of the door every day and they're all different. There's some people traveling and stuff. It's a lot of responsibility to keep in check. Yeah. So I don't envy running a DIY space.
No, I would never do it like that ever again.
I was gonna say I've definitely like tried to run DIY spaces, or I've had like, pop-up DIY spaces for lack of better terms, where it's like, okay, we're having a show this weekend, but like we're not a regular house venue that everyone knows in town or anything like that. So even that shit was like a sacrifice, but like getting in the routine of doing it, every week a band is coming through here or whatever, or even just doing sessions and stuff, like fuck, that's a lot to handle.
It's a lot. But it's fun though.
It's worth it.
The highs are highs, the lows are lows.
But in like the highs so much more outweigh all the lows of like opening your house to the world like that. Like you meet so many people, like we've talked about this whole time.
The most wild people.
And wonderful people, and people you would never meet unless you did take that chance of like doing that thing. Yeah.
It was fun. I get excited. I mean, my roommates were probably always like, what the heck is going on? Now I'm like, hey, you live here. This is what it is. But they really did enjoy it too, because they got to deal with more of the positive parts of it and less negative. Because they always knew like Ben's going to clean up after it.
Oh, sure.
Because it was my idea. So I took responsibility. I never expected friends or roommates to. I expected them to like clean up after themselves, just not after my ideas.
Yeah, of course.
I took full responsibility for like DZ Fest and shows and sessions. I'm like, I'm inviting these people over. I'm moving couches and stuff. I'll clean up before and after,
Which I'm sure, I mean, of course, like you said, like you're the one who came up with the idea to do that or whatever.
Yeah.
But I mean, that is appreciated to like, I'm assuming by your roommates to be like, yeah, you could do that cool thing.
They
like,
knew
because like, that's your...
I proved it. They knew. That's why they were able to stay and not kill me, because they're like, yeah, there seems to be a trend when Ben has things over. He tends to clean up before, during, and after, and there's like no repercussions. So why get mad at it? And then they get to reap the benefits of the event. They get to be there for free at the party and be intimate with the bands and like have these awesome bands around the country just come into their basement.
Yeah, it's like a party, and I don't know.
Like, I get to just go down to my room. I'll keep the beer in my room. Get it, come back down,
Totally.
Because the fridge is everyone's taking beer, and they were fun. But more it's the little stuff, like the floor is getting trashed.
Sure.
Shoe, marks on like the toilet.
Yeah,
the toilet. The bathroom got so bad and messed up.
I cannot
that
imagine,
the floor was rotted by 2020, and I had to take out the whole floor and replace my own bathroom just from like house shows.
There's a lot of people, and like, well, at festival you had the porta potties.
Festival
like,
did the porta potties.
I'm sure some people were like, "Can I run in and use the bathroom?"
So all the time. I can't tell you how many times I'd be like, "Can you?" I ordered a volunteer porta potty just for the volunteers to use privately, so they didn't go in the house. They still did it anyway. Because everyone would always be like, "Well, I know Ben." It's like, "Oh my god, everyone here knows me. You can't use that as an excuse." Like, everyone here knows me. Like, they're in my house. I would recommend, if someone wants to do it, but be really specific about your intent. Be aware that like things aren't going to always go your way. If you have expensive items, don't leave them out.
Oh, of course.
You have nice things, like just so many things.
Your head on your shoulders.
Yeah.
If you're doing
and you can't get high on the own supply, so you can't party.
You can't really
like
enjoy
party other nights. You can't party the
You're
night of your
running the
show. You're running it. And when and if the police show up, you got to be the sober person that can communicate because
Oh,
that's how you don't
yeah,
get in
yeah.
trouble.
Mm-hmm.
They trust an adult who's sober so much more than one that's not.
Oh my God, yeah.
Because they're dealing with it every day. and
Yeah,
they
yeah.
expect it. I can't tell how many times police would come and be like, they were shocked by how
Like how official
level-headed
you were,
and
yeah.
official, and like they're like, oh, well, I mean,
Like,
this is pretty. You're pretty
Does he have a
serious.
clipboard?
Walkie-talkie,
Yeah,
got the earpiece.
No, but yeah, that I mean, it's a lot of presenting yourself
Yeah.
to other people.
It's all about optics.
Yeah, I mean, it's kind of fascinating. I have no examples, but like, yeah, that situation is fascinating where it's like, oh yeah, if you like talk with confidence, like, or act with confidence
Yeah.
or whatever, like, or like we were talking about when you were walking through the United Center, it's like, yeah, if you just like keep walking like you belong there and you don't like look around everywhere, like you're not
look
supposed to be there.
suspicious.
Yeah, if you, I don't know, you just like fucking relax, like you're fine. I don't know.
It's one of my favorite things to do now. I kind of enjoy being an adult. Like once you get to your 30s,
Yeah,
which
yeah.
you're not there yet, young one. But once you're
My
there,
mom would beg to differ.
and you look like you can grow a pretty mean beard.
I did shave. Facial hair really annoys me.
Oh,
On
okay.
me. I just want to clarify.
Really?
It feels so. I feel like
Itchy?
dry skin, I guess maybe or something. I don't think I look good with facial hair.
It looks like it's
so-
pretty full.
It's pretty full. It just annoys me.
It's like
So-
growing up to your eyeball and stuff. It's so full.
Oh gosh,
I'm kidding.
It's in your eye.
It's on your forehead, down your
Yes,
nose.
yeah. Very
Yeah,
bear-like.
facial hair is very interesting with people. Some people love it, some
Yeah.
hate it, some.
I'm fine with other people. It's just another. I don't know. Like so many times, every time I like go to get a haircut or something, I'm like, I should just like fucking shave my head. So like, why do I have to? I mean, I don't have to, but like, why do I worry about this?
Mhm.
Like, why do I have to like? And this is one less thing to like shampoo or something. You know, it's like I don't have to fucking
You're-
deal with this.
you
like,
are
I'm trying
in
to eliminate
tour mode for so long,
things.
huh?
I know I am in
You're
tour
like less
mode now.
shampooed. I don't need it.
Just like eliminate things that aren't necessary. And I don't know.
Mm.
That is an idealistic part of my brain that I don't always follow, but
Is it another segue?
oh no.
Is it hard to tour in like Europe or Asia with the jet lag? Do you give yourself a buffer?
It's easier getting there. Getting home is the hardest part. I mean, like with like getting home, you're like fucked for a couple days
Because you're already tired from the.
Yes, yeah, it's like tour tiredness, and then in addition, you're like a day
Jet lag.
difference, and it's like what the fuck is going on? But like I don't think about that or like worry about that. I think other people when they travel maybe think about that.
You're just not other people. You're just
Well,
you.
like people, like I didn't mean to say that. Dear God.
You're like I'm
Kind
better
of
than
like the
everyone else.
biggest
I don't have
asshole.
to worry about jet lag.
No, but like if you're like, oh, I go on vacation like once a year or something, you're not used to traveling. Like there's different expectations for traveling. Where you just made a joke about like tour mode. It's like, yeah, just like fucking deal with it.
Yeah.
I don't know, it's fun. So
Send
I
it.
don't think about like when we're going into a tour, I think I'm not like we're going to Europe in less than a month right now.
That's so
and
cool.
I'm not like I think there's maybe if someone was traveling like once a year and it's like, oh, we're going to Europe now. This vacation we've been saving up for 10 years. They're freaking out about the jet lag
10
because
years, this
it's
is some broke people.
I don't know. It's like
10 years to save up for Europe.
Yeah, no. Some people got shit
so
to pay
sad.
for, man.
I mean, absolutely.
No, I know.
I'm not saying I can't even
Just
afford
an
to go,
example.
but it's just
but-
I love about 10 years I saved up.
But just like something where it's like, oh, you've been looking forward to it for a long time. So I think maybe you get worried about every little thing because you have so much time to worry about it. Where on tour, it's just like you gotta be at the show. Like I don't
Yeah,
know.
you
Like
don't
so
have a
whatever
choice.
happens, like you just have to like deal with that on the way. And yeah, you do not have a choice. So it's like I don't know. I know how to fall asleep in a car and stuff like that very well.
Yeah. You
Or
and-
just wherever. I don't know. Like
Do you guys rent gear over there?
in Europe, we rent gear and a van.
Okay.
And a friend drives us around. So yeah, we hire a tour manager who would drive us around. But in the past, we'd have like a friend take us around
Nice.
or come with us or whatever.
That's cool.
But yeah, we rent gear and a van. All
Like,
from,
even
all from one
guitars?
place.
Like
no,
everything?
we bring our guitars and pedals.
Okay.
But yeah, there's a lot of like trying to get through like not through security, but like you're trying to find ways to like make it so you don't have to pay for a bunch of bags. So
Right,
it's
do
like
customs and stuff.
so it's like you're bringing less clothes probably. And like a t-shirt you can wear multiple days in a row. It's like so you start thinking like that. It's like I gotta save space in my bag so I can fit
Yeah.
my pedals in here or like cables or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
And you have to check your guitar, of course, unless you can find a way to convince someone at the airport to like let you bring it on the plane and like stuff it in a closet.
That's
They have
happened?
closets. That has happened. Dave used to tour with a soft case guitar.
Why?
What? We were like,
Dave, if
yeah.
you hear this, what are you, madman? You toured to Europe with a soft case guitar.
And I think
Oh my
I want to say
God.
Japan too, but I don't quote me on that too. But like we've flown across
I'm
the
quoting you on
we've
that.
flown
You
across
just-
the world multiple times. I think with his soft case guitar.
Oh my God, get a hard
Um,
case.
And
That's
well, he
hilarious.
has one now, but like
That's good.
But he got very good at like kind of like sweet talking the people on the flight to be like, hey, I know you have like a tall closet in here. Like every plane has like different closets and stuff. Is there any way I could just slide this in here? Because he would bring it as his carry-on. But it's like, it's either you find the closet or they try to force you to check it, or you have to like somehow stuff it in the above thing, which is so dangerous for your
dangerous
shit.
and
So,
hard.
and like other people are going to be like, I don't fucking care about that. And they'll throw their bag on top of it or whatever.
Yeah.
So he got very good at like asking about the closet, and it would work like 9 times out of 10.
Oh
It was
my
awesome.
God.
Like, I don't know.
What about the time it doesn't work?
Yeah, then you're like fucked.
Does
I
he
don't
hold
know.
on his waist? On his lap?
He's never had to hold it on his waist, but I think he found a way to like get it in the overhead. But like maybe after other people put their bags in, I don't really know because it's like such a chaotic thing to like
Is there like
get on a plane and
a
shit.
company
so.
you rent stuff from? Like they just have a bunch of
Yes,
gear?
yeah, it's called Schmuff.
Schmuff.
Yes.
Is that an
And,
onomatopoeia? Sounds like it. Schmuff. What does it even
yeah, it's just a
mean?
guy that grunts.
Of course, you're like,
yeah,
yeah, of
take
course,
it. Yeah,
Schmuff. You never heard of
take it.
Schmuff?
It's just a touring company.
There's a company for everything, huh?
Yeah, it's kind of crazy. I've thought about that where I'm like, I'm sure there's stuff here for like people coming into the United States, but maybe not. Also, 'cause
I've had
there's-
people
touring
ask.
is different.
You know?
Touring in Europe for us is like a lot. Like people are much nicer. Like when you're talking about sleeping at
I've
people's
heard.
places and stuff, they will make you breakfast in the morning and stuff. Not that that's anything anyone would ever ask of anyone that we're staying with. Like that is not an expectation.
Yeah.
It's actually like I would rather they not make breakfast because it makes me feel like a burden. But like
Yeah.
staying in Europe, like or wherever, like they take care of you, like you're, like you live in the house with them.
That's awesome.
So I would not be surprised if there was less resources to come to the U.S. in terms of like renting gear and stuff. And I'm sure there's something. It's just I don't have to think about it because we're here.
I'm sure there is. There's probably their own smuff or
Yeah, I'm sure.
whatever it's called.
But yeah, it's just a friend of ours works there, maybe part-time or full-time. I don't know what they do
And they're
exactly.
they run on different
They're in Amsterdam.
voltage.
Oh yeah. Yeah, we have
They're on
like
220 out there.
so
right?
that's another thing. What we kind of like almost have to rent gear.
Yeah.
Because the plugs are different and stuff. So the amps like have different plugs on the back and everything. And I've got like 1 million converters now at this point, like in a box. I mean, we've only gone over there a couple times, but I think I lost it and I buy new ones or something, every time. But yeah, different plugs and shit like that you have to like think about like in advance or it's like you're fucked that
Yeah,
first
you
day
can't
of,
plug your
like,
amp
you have to be
in
ready
there.
for the first day of tour or else like
So you can buy an adapter that plugs into the outlet. And then
yeah,
you can
I
plug
wouldn't
in
run
your-
like an amp through there, but like
What about my audio interfaces?
pedals we could run through there and stuff
Or like a
that.
recording interface, audio interface.
Maybe.
Because what if I want to go there with my gear? You know?
Yeah, I would ask someone who knows.
I'll-
no, don't trust.
You know,
don't fly to,
Focusrite
don't go to
is
Europe
from England,
without,
so I'm sure that they
Yeah.
actually I think come with adapters.
Okay, yeah. Yeah, but like stuff for like that, but like running like an amp, or a PA system, I would not run through like a
No.
just like you wouldn't want to run it through like another source that isn't the wall here. Or whatever.
Exactly.
So, yeah.
Man. What's your favorite place to play in Europe?
Shit, I really love the Netherlands a
Mm-hmm.
lot. Yeah, we played on a boat in Rotterdam, which was so sick.
That's awesome.
We were on tour there last year, and it was a show separate from the tour. We were like going to meet up with the like shows that we were booked to play there, and we booked a few ourselves, or not like us doing it, but like our booking agent was able to help us figure it out. So we figured out some routing for our own shows, and we played on a boat, and it was just like so sick. Like it
That's
was
so cool.
they had a stage.
Boat was moving?
The boat was docked.
Okay.
Yeah, it was called Vessel 11 in Rotterdam. But yeah, they had a stage. It was like if you like woke up in this room, you'd be like, I'm in a music venue.
But it's a
But
boat.
like every once in a while, you like notice that you're rocking a
Yeah,
little
it's
bit.
kind of moving.
But there's a full restaurant upstairs. Like it was
cool.
there. The venue was in the downstairs part. Then there's literally an elevator in the boat too, which is fascinating.
It's a big boat.
Yeah, big enough to have all this stuff.
An elevator, restaurant, a
Yeah,
venue.
boats are weird to me. I'm not of that world. So like I don't know, like when I see a boat from the outside, I'm like, that's a big boat, but like it can't be that big. You know, then you get inside and you're like, holy fuck, there's like rooms in here and stuff. You know, it's
What would it be?
kind of
You're not of the. You're not nautically
not
inclined.
yeah,
Is that what it be?
I am not nautically inclined.
I just made that.
Or yeah, of nautical lineage. I don't know.
Nautical lineage.
So yeah, I don't know anyone with a boat growing up. So I don't know.
My
like,
parents have one, so
okay.
I'm very much of the nautical
so
world.
you know,
Yeah.
like when you go
know
inside, there's more
boats.
room than you think.
Just like
Enough
David
for a music
Copperfield and
venue,
David Blaine, I
yes.
do know
Yeah.
there's something more mystical in that boat.
Yeah.
It's much bigger. Did you guys know there's more to boats than what they look like on the outside?
It's kind of crazy, yeah.
So Rottingham?
Rotterdam.
I said
Yes.
Rottingham.
Now you're confused. Maybe you're right. I don't know.
Rottingham. That sounds like England.
Rotterdam is in the Netherlands.
And,
Vessel 11.
Well, where else have you guys played? That's really cool. You done France, I'm assuming, and
I've only played in France once, and we played at just like a venue there, like a bar venue that's built to have live
Yeah.
music. So it was very beautiful, and
Yeah.
nice, but like it wasn't like a unique place. Like we weren't
Sure.
playing on a boat.
you were.
I
Yeah.
wouldn't call it a boat.
Yeah. What about Eastern Europe? Have you done that?
Not. I mean, we've done like east is like maybe like Croatia and stuff like
Oh,
that. Where
shoot.
we play. Actually, the first time I was over there was the second time Ratboys was over there. This was 2018. I want to say, I think, or yeah, early 2018. I want to say. We played in Croatia, and we're supposed to play at this venue. It was in one of those towns, Zagreb. It was a town where like there wasn't an appropriate size venue for us to play, or like maybe maybe we didn't find the DIY space or something like that. So like they booked us in like a 300 cap room, which like
Too big?
oh my gosh, yeah, especially at that time, like so it would have like been like the worst show ever. So I think they realized it like day of or something, or I don't know what happened exactly. I could be fucking this story up. They moved the show, long story short, from the venue to this guy's cabin on top of a hill. Like it is like the most like European place I've probably ever been. It was so sick. It was someone's wood cabin on top of a hill where they were like, we'll just have the show here instead.
And this is in Croatia.
It is in Croatia. And it was like truly in this rural area where you like were on a hill that you had to like drive up. And like hill, like a fucking like coloring book hill, like, you know, like a cartoon type thing where there's like a house on top of this hill and you could see it from like a mile away.
Were there sheep?
I'm sure. I don't really remember animals, to be honest, but because it was very like
Steep?
yes, it was steep, like outside the general like front yard area of this place was just like a drop off. I remember it kind of being like a little tough getting the van up there and stuff. But like once you're up on that hill, you could like see everywhere.
Beautiful.
Around you. It was so beautiful. And I was almost like, who's going to come here though instead of like the venue? But we'll see. Like this doesn't seem like it's in like, you know, like it's not in the city or anything like that. And like they started making us food, which is another thing, like touring in Europe, like they will make you dinner and stuff like that. Whereas like in the States, if you're lucky, they'll be like, here's $10 or $20 for food. like go fend for yourself or
Like
something.
the writer or something.
Yeah, which is very nice if you like to have that, of course. But like in Europe, they're like, no, we're gonna make you food at the venue, and we'll sit down with you, and we'll all eat together. Like you,
That's
the
awesome.
staff, like everybody will kind of like almost cafeteria style or something, or like very family dinner style around a table. Um, but at this house specifically, or this cabin, this guy was making, I don't remember, some sort of like stew, but it was in like a cauldron on the porch of this cabin. Like, and he had like a giant spoon and was like mixing it. Like, if he was in a witch's costume, it would have been accurate. You know, it was like making this big pot. And he made enough food for like all these people that, like everyone that came to the show pretty much, like early
Wow.
enough. Like all these people started coming, and it was like a full house show. And Wild Pink, who we were on tour with, also played, and we all just like sat there in different parts of the cabin, like eating this like soup or stew or whatever. And then they were making like Croatian like moonshine and stuff, so everyone got fucking wasted at the show too. Like it was one of those things where it's like the show happened, but then like afterwards it just turned into a party immediately. And yeah, I remember that night being like very late specifically, and like in a calm way where it's like everyone's like drinking and hanging out together and stuff, and it was like one by one someone would fall asleep, you know, and then I don't know, like then like the last few stragglers are up just like talking about like real life shit, and just I don't know, just sitting around like drinking this weird Croatian moonshine that they made. There's a name for it, I can't remember it though.
That sounds like a really unique experience.
Yeah, it's like that's the type of shit where it's like that's DIY around the world. I mean, like it's no different than having a show at your house and people, like you said, staying to like
stay the night.
3 or
I'd
4,
make
stay the
breakfast all the
night.
time.
Totally.
I got a bunch of eggs and bacon. You know, do that. Make coffee for everybody. Have everyone do their laundry.
But to be able to meet people like that, it's like there'd be no fucking way we'd ever meet without this situation or without music or without this specific tour happening or something. And I don't know, to be able to like share that together and be like, yeah, we're here, we know each other tonight, and that's like basically it. There's something like very beautiful and freeing in that too. That's
it was romantic. We
it
only
is
know
like
each other tonight.
Yeah, yes, all of us and the Croatians.
I agree.
But there is some. Yeah, I mean, I can get very romantic about touring, but I will spare you. But like, yeah, that is an example of that where it's like that wouldn't happen in any other situation.
And to think so many people don't experience this.
Yeah.
Not just touring, but if they're into road tripping or camping
or
traveling, like the amount of people who do that, it's a percent of the world.
Yeah.
You know?
And it is like it's hard to travel responsibly, you know, in regards to the world too. So I get like it's probably good that not everyone does this all the time. Maybe like
it's
touring
kind of funny
is very like not environmentally friendly.
No.
But yeah, like if I don't know, that's like one thing I wish I could tell some people that I know, where I'm like, I feel like there's something missing in your life, and it's the fact that you maybe like have never left where you're at or something.
Absolutely.
And it's like there is something nice to, I mean, you don't have to live somewhere else, but just like go out for a little while or find a way to go out for a little while and experience a different part of the world. And you learn so much from that, whether it's coming away with the lesson of like everything's the same everywhere, or like seeing how people treat you maybe differently, but in a better way or in a different way or something. And you can like take those lessons to heart and bring them back home. I don't know. But
yeah, it's sad when people don't even leave their state,
very difficult.
their region.
Yeah. That's very difficult for me to comprehend.
Yeah. I mean, even this country, it's pretty easy to get around.
Yeah.
If you have any money, you can do it for quite cheap.
Trains or
you know, you could
something,
split some gas money with some friends and just take a car out.
But it's hard because I mean, there's a lot I'm sure that goes into. Everyone has a crazy life. Absolutely, everybody does. And so I mean, there's probably a million reasons why, or fears, or things causing someone to like not do that.
Yeah.
Luckily.
Sometimes it's just money.
Yeah.
Some people want to, but if you can't even get a car or a plane ticket.
Yeah.
I mean, that's what stopped me so much from leaving the country, is just how much money it costs.
Yeah, it's crazy
And,
expensive.
Yeah, it's expensive. And whenever I had any extra money, I'd always put it towards gear.
Oh, of course.
Speakers, microphone, like what I'm doing here.
Mm-hmm.
And that's another reason why I've never like traveled well. I've never like, I'm getting a plane and flying to England and staying at a hotel. It's like,
which I don't know if I don't know if you'd.
No.
I don't know if you'd enjoy
I
that.
could have taken a
either,
boat, but
like
I guess
me,
I got to fly there
Yeah.
because a boat just sounds more adventurous. But I just love when I meet a new friend in a new city and they're like, yeah, come on through. I'm like, okay, I'll drive down there, bring some gear, let's plan out some sessions.
Yeah.
Like I'll make something of it. And it's always like, 3 days on, 2 days off, and just kind of have like a mini vacation. But I don't care if I'm sleeping on someone's couch or the air mattress or whatever.
Yeah, because there's like part of you too that knows like, oh, this is just short term. This isn't my home. Like it's fun.
It's fun.
It's worth it to like
sleepover. It's camp. It's summer
exactly,
camp. You know.
But yeah, it's worth it to put up with those like little struggles of like the worst place you've ever slept or jet lag or something like that. It's like worth it to do those things and get over those little like hurdles because overall, like we had mentioned before, like the highs so much more outweigh the lows of things in this type of world that you and I live in. But
it's a weird world.
It is.
I wouldn't do it any other way though.
It's a strange world.
You know? It's fun.
Yeah, very lucky to be, I don't know, adults talking here now. I know that's going to become the theme of the conversation, but like it's kind of crazy to like both see us doing the exact same things that we were doing when we were kids. That's a very lucky thing.
Wild,
even if it
right?
ended tomorrow for both of us, it's like
we died or
like we murdered each other, dude.
Murder,
like you drink
suicide.
this, I
Let's
drink
go.
this. No, but like if I don't know, for whatever reason, like we couldn't. Someone kidnapped us and said, "You have to be a doctor.
Dude,
you have to be a lawyer."
Kidnapped.
One of those crazy
you have to be a
situations.
doctor or a lawyer.
But like I don't know, but
I know
like
what
we
you're
have to
saying.
like go to our 9-to-5 life now, and we have to stop doing this. At least we did it to this point. I don't know.
I couldn't go back.
Yeah, I don't think I'd.
I will die. I will die doing what I'm
I would
doing. I'm like, I don't know if
absolutely,
I'm ever retiring. I'm just gonna do this all until
Yeah.
I'm just dead.
I think I'm at the point now where I've realized that. And it took maybe getting through the pandemic to realize that.
Yes.
Where like the pandemic happened and I was like, I mean, I never thought this once, but thinking about it now when we're talking, like that was for sure an out for like anyone who was like trying to go back to like a normal life.
Yeah.
And if you didn't, like, you might as well fucking like dig your
Yeah,
grave
I
on this side of the
couldn't wait.
line.
I was like
'cause-
trying so hard to get back into what I was doing.
yeah.
Yeah, no, I couldn't wait. I was like, screw this.
Yeah.
Like, it made me slow down for the first time in a very long time. But I don't know. That's all it really did. It gave me perspective a little bit,
For
like
sure.
like have a little more self care for my health and stuff. But other than that, it just made everything else way harder. I was like, I need to get back to this.
Yeah. It did make things hard for sure. But
Oh my
yeah.
god. Yeah, it made it so hard for bands, for touring, for selling
Yeah.
merch and playing shows. And
Yeah. I don't. There's
brutal.
a lot of
So many bands
things
stopped
I could say.
being
about that.
bands.
Yeah. It is. It's very difficult. Yeah, a lot of.
Sad.
I mean, the pandemic killed so many bands, so many venues,
So many
things
venues.
that like
And
are
people work
related
at venues,
to
their
music.
jobs,
Yeah.
talent buyers, sound and engineers.
Yeah.
So many potential jobs. It's like,
Yeah. And yeah.
And when I see-
it sucks to see that stuff and like think about that stuff. But yeah, I get where you're going with that though. That like there's nice things that like if you push through that, like I don't know.
yeah.
You're,
So you want to be a musician forever?
That'd be sick. I mean, I don't know. When I grow up.
When I grew up, I want to be. Isn't it funny?
Only
Like
in
we
my
are
20s.
grown up. But would 20? When I first met you, and you're 19,
Yeah.
would you expect everything that's happened in the last
No,
decade?
I think I was kind of. I started to become a reporter in college, and so I mean, like I went to
Yeah.
college not knowing what I wanted to do, but I was like, "Fuck!" I guess I used all my time in high school playing music, and maybe I could be like a music reporter or something. I think I thought at the time
that's pretty cool, though.
it would be cool if that
I could
job
see you
existed.
doing that. Well, not music reporter, but like
Zing to the industry.
like a person, like you do write ups
Um,
and stuff for musicians and bands. and-
Yeah, and I'm just
promoting
joking. Yeah, that would be an awesome job, and I think like that's something that I tell myself now currently,
I feel like you can get that job for a company that already has it.
I don't want that now.
Oh, you don't want
No, but I think in like later in life, that's something I see myself wanting to do, and that's a way
Yeah.
to like one day, if all the bands that I'm affiliated with, like if same thing with you, like I said, if like we have to stop doing this.
We'll start our own publication company.
But like I would love to go get a reporter job, like covering art and stuff, and actually like then using everything that I've maybe learned or picked up from the road.
That's what I was gonna say. You'd be perfect with your experience now.
Yeah, I don't do it now. I made a conscious decision to stop reporting on music or writing about music. I think one of the last things I did was write a story about Namdi for Vice. And then
cool.
I like after writing that story, I was like, that's too close to this. You know, like ethically, maybe flying too close to the sun. Like grew up with Namdi. Like I could make the argument that like maybe I like was supposed to write that story or whatever. But like, and I'm sure I would have argued at that time, and I still would. But like, it's starting to get to the point where like, oh, I know the people, like my friends are starting to become musicians, or like maybe we're like full-time musicians that are covered in magazines and stuff. And it's like, okay, now we're touring with people. I don't want people to know that I'm same way where I don't want people at my job now, my reporter job, to know that I play music, because I just don't want to deal with like talking about that.
Questions and stuff.
I don't want anyone to ever feel uncomfortable on tour with me. Like, oh, here's a reporter or something. You know, like I feel like there's a weird line there, or vice of another way of that. Another thing that worries me is like covering, like, oh yeah, he's a music reporter, but he only covers his friends' bands or something. Like, there's like a bunch of ethical things that I don't even want to get close to that line. So I think I started to realize that and was like, okay, I need to stop. And there's plenty of other things that I could report on, and there's hopefully other people that could do music reporting, and there most definitely are awesome music reporters out there.
That's wise decision. It makes sense.
So yeah, I was just like, I'll keep these worlds separate maybe, but in the back of my head, like I am like, you know, logging ideas maybe mentally or literally of like, okay, if I'm not a touring musician anymore, I want to write this story or this story. Like I have that list of like wants or wishes in my head somewhere, like a book on DIY promoters and stuff. Like we were talking about, like that.
I've thought about that a lot too.
No one has written about like, I mean, not that I know of. Like there's not like I mean, it's a very wide world to cover or something, but it's like I lived that. Like I think I can do that, and I think maybe that's what I'm supposed to do with these tools that I've gathered over the years. These like this unique tool set. It's like all building to that maybe.
I've thought of very similar books.
Yeah.
I'm waiting until I'm 40 though.
I'm gonna write it first, dude.
I want to have 20 years of experience.
Yeah. Okay.
So.
I was thinking like 19 and a half years of experience.
All right. Or we can collaborate. And we just
no.
I don't. Each chapter is another
like
Mikey Giannoni's chapter, right? Hi guys.
Hell yeah.
So I got some chicken from KFC, right? And what we're gonna do is take the buckets and make like a drum kit out of them. Okay?
Yeah. But like, there's things like that.
We've all met plenty of heavy duty DIY. People through and through.
And that's just
being them when you meet them, you know?
Yeah.
Be great. Each chapter is a person's
perspective
and thoughts, you know?
Yeah. And it's like almost an impossible thing to cover because it's so vast and ever changing. It's like writing about every drop of water in the ocean. Like that's not possible. But like you can try to capture what it looks like as a whole or something. Yeah.
It's almost just like, what was your experience like?
Yeah,
and how does it work?
And see the through lines
here.
And stuff.
There are some through lines. The touring, the DIY ethos of like place to stay, bring your gear inside, you know, they give you a place to park, bathroom to use. There's some rudimentary stuff. You know, if you went, it'd be weird if you went someplace and you're like, yeah, but there's no bathroom and you have to leave your gear in the car. You'd be like, but what if someone steals? That's what wouldn't happen.
Yeah,
So there's some common grounds that everyone knows.
Sure.
And then there's some levels. Like, oh, we have laundry you can do. And versus other people like, oh, we don't have one.
Yeah.
To ethical things like maybe don't get all like trashed and not be a good host for your guests. Which I'm sure you've been to with a host is like, you guys should stay over there. You're like, oh no.
It's like, well, those stories are in there. And I feel like those are the things that are like maybe of our generation, like the rock and roll stories. You know, it's like more of like shit we had to all put up with versus like shit we got to do, you know? Like that's kind of the difference in rock and roll generations, I feel like.
Oh yeah.
Or maybe we're just fucking pushover nerds. Like
I think we're nerdy.
That's how we tour.
I think we're nerdy.
But yeah, I don't like. There's stories and all that stuff, and that there's whether it's that specific idea or just other things. Like, yeah, I hope to one day get to do that stuff. But like, there's a time for that, I'm sure. But there's no pressure or like rush to do any of that stuff. But
no, take your time. Would steal my idea. I'm just kidding.
I was thinking about doing this like podcast.
You know, it's funny.
Melting brains.
Melting minds.
Melting minds. Oh shit.
Melting minds.
Yeah,
I just thought of a great newspaper idea for you. It'd be Neumann's newspaper.
Okay.
That could be your
like that.
or Newman's newspaper, but I like
Neumann better. Well, it depends on which side of the river you're on.
If you're in Europe, it's got to be Neumann.
Yeah.
And if you're in America, it's got to be Neumann.
Yeah. That river is what I was talking about. The big one. You were talking about. Huge river.
Melting Minds is a funny one. You should start that.
Yeah.
And you're just like...
But just like kind of take all your videos and just like AI my face over yours and change your voice into my voice.
What's it called?
Using this episode's audio.
Oh my, don't even get
There's literally nothing stopping me from doing that.
You're freaking me out because there is nothing stopping from doing it, and then someone's done it. Someone's done it.
This is mine now. Really? Someone's like taking your... Is this a story for off the air? This is great. Holy fuck.
The world's weird out there.
Not great at all, but like, holy shit.
There's a reason why you keep things private in life, you know?
Yeah, definitely.
You know, that's like public's public, private's private.
Yeah.
I've talked about it a couple times, but yeah, there's some strange things. When you open your life and door and stuff to people.
Yeah.
And artists, well, you know artists, they are the most brilliant people in the world and also the most... I don't know the right word to use without sounding offensive, but... They'd be wild.
I have a lot of questions.
They could be wild.
You're starting to like raise a lot of questions.
Do you know what I'm saying?
I see where maybe this is going.
Like artists can be
so interesting.
Artists can be wild people. Comedians, actors, painters, musicians.
Sure.
The craziest people on this planet. And I'm one of them, and I could say it. They're artists.
Is this where someone's like trying to like form their image in the public?
What?
Are you saying that someone? Well, I don't want.
No, these people just do weird stuff.
Sure,
they could take these videos and make whatever they want out of them.
That's what I'm. That's what I'm asking.
Someone has made a weird video.
Hell yeah!
I'll show you after.
Okay, I would love to see.
It is so weird.
Wow, okay.
It's bizarre. Luckily, I'm like, you know, a medium-sized man, so it's not so darn threatening to my life.
Okay.
Like that's another thing to talk about.
Have you ever gotten a death threat?
I've received some pretty bad threats.
Sure.
But, you know.
Yeah. Wow.
I'm not really scared.
On you, like someone emailing
Remember I told you, I just don't make enough money to just say whatever I want.
Sure,
you know? I wish I did.
Afterwards.
I wish I was a gazillionaire and I could just say it all. No,
when you come on Melting Minds, I'll get to ask you about
Melting Minds, sponsored by Bending Brains.
No. Yeah, you're paying me.
I gotta tell you, somebody who I don't know, and this is the first time I've seen it, has taken clips of my podcast and other things I have on the internet and made like a video out of it, but it's really weird. It's just kind of odd and a little creepy, but it's not like super. It's not like something that'd be like in a horror film.
Okay.
You know? But it's certainly weird and uncomfortable.
Okay.
And
to make you
made
say
my mouth
things?
move and stuff.
Oh. Okay.
I love the sounds you're making. Ooh,
I'm very interested in watching this.
Whoa.
if you're brave enough, you'll splice it in here.
And scene. Oh God. No, there's been some funny videos. I don't know, when you put yourself out there
Sure.
for over a decade on just tens of thousands of minutes and hours of footage. It's just everything. Your name's in here, there.
Yeah.
Especially the podcast. The old podcast, I don't know if you were ever on it, Friends with Music.
Yes, but a very long time ago.
Right, like probably 2014.
Yeah.
You might have been on there with Single Player.
Yes.
When you guys came through.
No, and also with Nectar once.
Nectar.
Yeah,
That's
I
probably the same
remember
year.
me and Camila sitting down with you.
Wow. And Matt, my cousin Matt. He was probably there.
Fuck.
Damn,
Yeah, in the
that was
basement.
Like 9 years
Yeah,
ago. Okay.
It's crazy.
So that podcast we did, and I did for 7 years.
Yeah.
So I mean, I think we did like 350 or 400 episodes, a ton. But we didn't have video.
Okay.
And Matt and I, specifically Matt, I have to make fun of him here. We're not the best at promoting that or putting that. We just like did it.
Sure.
And it just like went on the website and like, that's it. Like
Yeah.
it wasn't, that's it.
No, like social media or anything. Like
Not
that.
really, but it was more
No,
his
that's the
thing. I
only
just
way, but yeah.
facilitated it. It was just about like the active, and they were fun. I mean, that's what got me into this. Without that, I couldn't be doing this. But this higher quality audio, 2 people, HD camera, clips, 3 hours of footage per episode, give or take.
Yeah.
It's a lot people could work with,
Yeah.
you know. And people have
People
worked
have
with
worked
it.
with it. Yeah.
But whatever. I mean, I don't know. I don't really give out too much information. I kind of talk about stuff that anybody would know.
Yeah.
You know, I keep mostly private stuff private
Yeah.
because people get strange.
Yeah. It's hard to do that.
But yeah, artists, kind of geniuses, wild, beautiful
Yeah.
people. Then you get a lot of unstable minds. When minds are trying to push the envelope and follow their dreams,
Sure.
it can lean into some risky behaviors or
Yeah.
interesting
or if
choices.
Anybody gets just worked up about something, they will get very
Yeah.
weird.
Yeah.
Or attack the wrong person.
Yeah, the internet's a weird place.
Mm-hmm.
Have you ever had any issues with that on the internet? With how much you've put yourself out there?
Well,
and
I
stuff?
covered my first job for context with people. I got hired in 2019 while we were on Jupiter tour, I believe. Yeah, we were on Jupiter tour, and I accepted the job.
For those who
on
don't know,
tour.
Sean was touring the planets, and he was on Jupiter at the time.
Yes, yeah, that's what I meant. A Jupiter Styles
Saturn
tour.
was next.
Yes, intergalactic tour, dude. I was doing DMT in my basement. No, we were in Kansas City. I accepted this job for People magazine covering politics, which ended up being mostly covering like the White House and the Trump administration.
Presidents, people, and politics.
One of my first weeks into the job was writing about the first impeachment and like covering that live
For
and
people.
stuff like that. Yeah.
Wow, that's pretty huge.
So it was kind of crazy.
That's huge, huh?
It felt like it at the time.
That's
I mean,
awesome.
but yeah. So I took that and like kind of was like, I'm gonna fucking probably quit this job soon because we're gonna go on tour in 2020. So I was like, but I'll take it while I got it, I guess. And then the pandemic happened, and then it was like, I guess I'm lucky to have this.
Glad I
job.
got this
Yeah,
job.
like fuck. Like,
Don't let
okay.
him know.
But yeah, I didn't say any. I mean, like I had asked for time off for a tour, and they gave it to me, which was really nice. But I don't think that was a position that I could have pushed it at the time as much. And I was more prone to working from the road at the time too. So I would still do like 9 to 5 positions from the road, just using a hotspot and just not maybe tell anybody that I wasn't home because they didn't know, or like what do they care if they don't
Yeah,
know? Like
they don't need to know.
see a dip in production or anything. Yeah, so I got that job, and then obviously with the pandemic and everything that happened that year, it got very tense, and especially on emails and stuff and on social media and everything. And it was just like every day would be a handful of like crazy ass things. People would find my phone number or address, or like I got a little worried because people started to I mean, it was an election year too, and like probably the most aggressive election that we've probably ever had. Yet.
yeah. Don't speak too soon. We still have one next year.
But yeah, I mean, people would start to. I definitely got at least one email where someone was like, oh, like I'll see you at your show. Like they did enough digging online, which does not require a lot of digging, but usually these people are like rapid fire, like, oh, they found your email and that's it. Like they won't like obsess over you past that, and it's fine. Like they send you some bullshit about like Trump won, like you're a fucking liar, you're part of the like all this like crazy like conspiracy stuff about you, and it's like, dog, I am like in my house, like I'm just writing from my bedroom, like I have never met anyone I work with. I'm not part of a conspiracy or anything. Like I'm just doing.
That's what
I'm
somebody
literally
who's part
just
of a
reporting the
conspiracy would
news.
say, isn't it?
It is on a documented
Listen,
podcast.
I just live at
too.
home with my mom in their basement. I don't know what to tell you.
But like, yeah, like I am like I don't like. It's stuff like that I don't know. It's start to be like, holy fuck, like there's no conspiracies of anything. Like people are just dumb.
Yeah, I mean, I'm sure there are some, but not as much as we think.
Yeah, you know what I mean?
Right.
But I'm like, and not everything is a conspiracy.
Not everything is
and that is something that you probably realize when you're like an adult.
Listen, you flatlander.
You
This
fucking
earth is
yes.
flat.
God damn it. Yeah, I am a documented flatlander. But yeah, someone like started to be like, I'll see you at your show. I see like your tour dates and stuff. And I was just like, all right, now I'm like
That's
putting
freaky.
other people in danger too. And not that I still don't trust that like any of this would come to anything. But that's a fucking challenge.
Yeah.
No, just
What's the challenge, bro?
no, but like I don't really truly think I was like ever in danger or anything like that. But it was like, okay, but this is like something that I maybe brought upon myself by taking this job and like doing this work and stuff. So
I always
that's my
wonder that when you
responsibility.
write an article, why they put the author's name in there.
For transparency and stuff. I mean,
that makes sense.
Yeah,
but then,
I
like,
see what you're saying with
yeah.
like the risk of that, maybe. But like, then no one. I mean, if like it just said like CNN wrote this story,
what
like,
if you're
you'd be
allowed
like,
to
who
use
wrote
a
that
pseudonym,
story?
like a moniker?
I mean, I guess you could, but I didn't think about that when I was younger. And then it's
You should
like,
just go by Neumann.
yeah,
You
it's
just keep
actually
the same
you just respond to the email. It's actually pronounced differently, and you have the wrong person. I'm so sorry. I know it looks
It's
spelled
actually
the same,
Neumann,
but
and it's
like,
not me.
yeah, you've got the
It's
wrong
Sean
person.
Shawn Neumann. Get it right.
But yeah, I also like made mistakes when I was younger with like putting like if I was booking my band or something like that, I would put my phone number out there or something, or email or something. So like my information was like out there, ready to be grabbed by any
My
crazy
number's out there,
person.
and I get the craziest
Oh my
amount
gosh,
of stuff.
I have
It's
insane
terrible.
voicemails that I'm like, I'll keep that one because it's like so fucking, it's like wild. It's like my mom,
You could use
and then
it
like
for-
so
You
wild.
can use it for
Yeah.
your album, some sound art.
Yeah,
It's
yeah.
brutal. I don't know
But,
what to do about
yeah.
having my number out there, but it's out there.
Yeah. But that goes all into the like how I approach the internet and social media and stuff as I've kind of backed away from it, but like I know I can't fully back away and delete everything because I need to have a public presence, A, for
Yeah.
music, and B, for like as a freelancer, I need to be able to pitch myself and show my online presence, whether that's like articles I've written or a website I have, or like an active like an active social media presence or something. As
Mhm.
shitty as that is, it affects like how you can get work as a freelance writer. Or
It changes
journalist or
everything.
something,
It
or a
changes who
musician.
responds to you.
Yeah,
you
like
reach out to somebody and you have an active social media that
Yeah,
shows
yeah.
relevance of shows that you're doing cool stuff.
Yes.
that people follow you.
Oh my god, it changes everything.
Oh my
Yeah,
God, the
yeah.
amount of-
which sucks, but
yeah,
like it does.
It gives
yeah,
you validity of like as a person in what you
Yeah.
do. Like, and it goes by followers.
Yeah.
And it goes up in levels,
Yeah.
echelons.
It's
like
a
if you
shitty
hit
number
10,
game that we play.
100,
yeah.
a million, if you have 1 million followers, who will respond to you is very
Yeah.
different.
Oh, we got
if you have 100 followers.
Same thing with like music and stuff like that too,
Oh,
as
yeah.
unfortunate as that is. But I had to, at that point, like that summer, I just was like, before then was very active maybe on social media, and still I think in a normal way. But like now I'm just like, I just don't want to use this. It's just full of misinformation and angry people, and it just sucks. But
Yeah.
yeah. But yeah, same thing with music though, which really sucks, the numbers game and everything like that.
Yeah, that's a hard one because, and I've noticed the way that bands will it's so weird. It's so hit or miss. I can't make sense of it. Some bands that have a ton of followers will respond to me, and then some that have barely any more than I have, who haven't been around that long. I supersede them by like a decade. They'll still just be like, nothing, just won't respond. Not even say like, oh, we can't, we're not interested. Just anything.
Do they like maybe they don't see it or something, or maybe they don't check?
It's a
but yeah,
scene.
I know.
It's a
Oh, ouch. You have been seen.
I've been seen.
I love that.
Listen, I know how this works. You see everything, and once in a while you could see something and then forget to respond. I get it.
Yeah.
But I mean, that's rare, especially with people in our business, because all we do is check stuff and respond.
Oh, of course. That's
So it's like to check and now respond is pretty.
I probably saw it. Yeah.
Yeah, it might be like I saw it Thursday night, I'll respond tomorrow, and then tomorrow happens and you forget, and then maybe respond Monday.
Yeah.
Or like a week later. Usually if that happens to me, which I'm guilty of it,
Yeah,
I will
yeah.
respond like, I'm so sorry for the delay. It is just completely,
Yeah.
like I saw it, and it slipped my mind.
I would say
I'm sorry.
90% of my emails say, sorry for the delayed response.
My apologies.
Like,
The guy, I know.
My bad.
As long as you, sorry for the inconvenience.
Yeah.
I apologize for the
I
delay.
just
I've
couldn't
been
muster up the
been
energy
real
to
busy.
text you
Just
back.
been real busy. Just can't even do it. Well, then there are some people who are quite big or famous, and they respond. You're like, what? This doesn't make any sense. Why are you responding? And not Joe Schmo with 2,000 followers who's been around for a year and a half.
People, yeah.
I'm like, I don't get it.
Yeah.
But I don't know. I don't get mad. For as much as people don't respond, most do. So you just go move to the next band.
Yeah.
You know, it is what it is, but it can be a little frustrating. And I do see the numbers game, and it's hard.
It's just so dumb. It means nothing.
It means nothing.
It's like truly means nothing.
And how I know it means nothing is the amount of people that I've been blessed and fortunate enough to work with in person, to see in person, to have come to my house, the shows, the sessions. I mean, it's definitely it's so many I couldn't give a number over the years, and my online numbers don't represent what I've actually experienced in real life.
Yeah.
It's a rare case where there's most people online. They interact, or they have way more people online than they would in reality.
Sure.
That they ever interact with, no
like
matter who they are.
Because they only interact online.
Right.
Most maybe.
Or like, think about it, like how often you play shows, how often you're in a band now, so you like talk to people, you meet a lot of people, right?
Yeah.
So you probably have a mismatch where you meet and work with more people in reality than you have followers on your social media.
Sure.
As Sean.
Yeah, sure.
Right. And I have the same.
Yes.
I have the
Not
same
every
thing.
day.
I meant overall, with all the things you do, and I do too.
I get what you're saying.
The numbers don't represent what I've actually experienced.
Yeah.
Which is, I think, more rare than the other way around. People have a ton of numbers.
Yeah.
But they're not interacting with a million people.
Sure.
There's not. So it's weird. Popularity and fame, they don't come in the same shape and sizes at all.
Or like true popularity too. Like I don't know if that's even a thing where it's like I don't think this equates to real life popularity. Like I don't know who that person is, but they have a bajillion followers.
I see
or
what you're
something. It's
saying.
like who cares? I don't know. Like maybe half of them are paid for. Or like
I see what you're saying. Like really famous online, but not that popular in their circle. Reality.
Yeah, I don't know.
It's funky.
It
I'm glad I'm not growing up.
Yeah,
right?
I know. Holy fuck,
Like it's hard enough to be our age. Doing
Yeah, it's hard enough to like get the tail end of it when we were growing up.
What are
But
these kids dealing with? Like, that's so dark.
yeah, a lot of
I try to let them know like it's
emotional
not
baggage,
real. Like you
yeah.
gotta have it, treat it like a job, but it's not real.
Yeah.
You know, what do we do?
I don't know. Write a
What's
book.
your shirt,
together.
Guster?
Guster is this band from the 90s.
Oh.
And currently. But like they started in the 90s. Is what
Okay.
I meant to say. Early 90s.
Where are they from?
They are from the Boston area. Grew up listening to them and then got to tour with them last year. It was very
shoot!
Cool.
How are they like in their 50s, 40s?
Yeah, I'd say late 40s, 50s. Like kids in college type thing.
Okay,
yeah.
so they were like of the
They were in college when they started the band in like the early 90s.
kind of like of Hum and like Poster Children and stuff.
That era, but like way different music.
Right,
Yeah, very
okay.
poppy.
Okay.
And like radio friendly versus not that hum and all that stuff wasn't radio friendly. It clearly was.
Yeah.
But like of the time.
Yeah.
Radio friendly.
Yeah.
yeah.
Yeah. Do you know Poster Children?
Yeah. Yeah. I used to produce a radio show for like it was like a public radio show in Urbana. And yeah, they would come on every once in a while. I am struggling to remember everyone's name.
Rose
Is it
and
Rose?
Rick.
Okay,
Yeah. She's my boss.
Rose and Rick.
And
okay.
Rick is my colleague. Yeah.
Fuck yeah, yeah. Because they would drive. They would either drive over to because obviously they're like so rooted in the Champaign area.
Oh yeah.
They would either drive over for an interview or they would like drive to I forgot the public radio station in Bloomington. Normal.
Yeah, I can't think of it either. I know which one you're talking about.
Because it is one of the smaller stations in Illinois for the couple of public radio stations that are in Illinois. But they would go to the studio there and we'd like do the interviews remote, whatever it was about.
Oh, okay.
But Rose has definitely come on the show multiple times.
She's awesome.
She's
wild.
So awesome. Yeah. I like it's one of those things where maybe in the moment I didn't really realize the totality of like who I was talking to, you know.
I feel that way every time I'm like hanging out with them and talking with them. Like they've told me some really wild stories.
Yeah, true. Like and talk about like success in music and stuff.
Oh yeah, they had like a 3-4 album record deal with Warner
gosh.
Brothers.
Yeah, it's crazy.
Back when you can get multiple record deals with a big company.
Yeah. But like I don't think because I was fresh out of college. This is like 2017. I would not put money on like Rose remembering me, but like or Rick. But that would be awesome if they did.
That's funny. They're really cool people.
But yeah, I would kind of reach out to them, and they'd come on the 21st show, which was our radio show. And then I wouldn't interview them, but I was the producer of the show.
Why was it called the 21st show?
For the 21st state, Illinois. It was an all Illinois news program, so we covered the whole state. It was an hour a day. With Nyla Boodoo was my boss. She used to be WBEZ. She used to do like morning edition for WBEZ. Now she works at Axios. And started like their podcasts there, or is foundational in their podcasts there. But we would do a news show hourly, or 1 hour a day. I mean, 5 days a week, and I would get to like throw in some art stuff in there every once in a while and stuff. So every once in a while. I'd say like maybe 3 times at the most they'd come on the show in like the year and a half that I worked there.
Small world.
Yeah, very small world.
That's funny. Yeah, they're great. I see them pretty often. Talk with them a lot. I taught Rose's music business class for 4 semesters, and she's spoken in a couple times, and Rick did too.
And she has a new book, right?
Yeah, I have it. I think it's called Play Like an Artist. Why am I drawing a blank? I'm mixing 2 books together. It's called...
I remember hearing...
I'm drawing a blank on it.
I don't know the title of it.
I'm going to have her on soon. I'm going to have her on the
that'd
podcast.
be awesome.
Yeah.
When she was releasing the book, she was on Sound Opinions. And I caught that on the radio just by chance. And I was so excited.
Yeah.
It's like when you hear someone on the radio that you've like, or know of, or you've like spoken to or something. And it's like, oh my God. Yeah. So I like listened to that whole conversation. It was very good.
I need to go get the copy.
I'd never got a copy of the book, so I feel bad about that. I'll have to read that soon. But,
I think you can buy it on Amazon.
Yeah.
I think so, yeah.
I'll shop on Amazon, dude.
I'll get it
no,
for
but
you.
I'll get it.
I'll get it for
I'll
you.
get it.
I'll get a signed one for you.
Oh hell yeah, that'd be awesome.
To Sean from Rose.
That'd be great.
Thanks for
I would cherish that.
I'll email her. I'll text her.
Actually.
I'll be like, Rose, we need a book.
Yeah, that'd
we
be
got an old
awesome.
fan. She might remember. If I bring it up, she'll probably do
I
it.
feel like if you brought up all the context of like, he was a producer at this radio show. Yeah. I'm sure if she Googled, she'd be like, yeah, I remember that. Maybe.
I remember this prick.
This motherfucker.
This little wiener. I remember him. Yeah, the world's getting small, man. The older I get, I'm like, what? Like,
it's cool.
And I'll talk with people, and it's just weird.
Yeah.
It's bizarre.
It's cool. And in like the way where you're like, oh, I feel involved in things, but also in the like comfort or fear, depending on how you look at it, of realizing that like, oh, people I grew up with are now in charge of things or whatever.
Isn't that
like,
crazy?
It's like, no, like either you can, I don't know, just like realizing it's like the conspiracy thing where it's like, yeah, I work at a news organization. I know this isn't a fucking media conspiracy to hide this thing or whatever. Like,
Yeah.
same way, like with friends doing things out in the world and being successful at whatever job they have. It's like, yeah, normal people have jobs. like
Yeah.
like normal people are doing this normal thing or this amazing thing that I thought was so distant when I was younger or something. Like, I don't know.
Mhm.
It's fascinating to see
It's weird.
people you know in situations that you've maybe, were taken aback by when you're younger.
Yeah, or you never knew. You never knew, like, wow, you saw it. Like, think about the times you'd go to shows at the
Yeah.
venues you've played
yeah.
at. Like, I've been to those shows, and I'm like, wow, I wonder what it's like to, like, walk out of the green. What do they do in the green room? Turns out you don't do a whole lot of anything in the green room,
Yeah,
but
drink water.
drink water. Maybe you have a writer, and it's probably, like, Red Bull with,
Like some pretzels.
yeah, pretzels or, like, a Cliff Bar. I don't know. The best one I ever saw was at Thalia Hall.
Best rider?
Yeah.
Or best green room? Because
No,
best
best
green
rider.
room for sure.
It was a great green room.
Okay.
But the writer was...
What was the rider?
Not the writer, like what they had available for bands, like the food and the drinks.
Yeah.
It was nice.
Yeah, they serve you like food from
Yeah.
that restaurant,
Yeah,
maybe, if
yeah.
I'm remembering.
It
Yeah,
was
yeah.
nice.
It's very nice when
I
a
was
venue
like,
is
what
like, yeah, we
the
have a
heck?
restaurant and you can eat there since you're bringing
Mm-hmm.
500 people to the bar tonight or whatever.
And the shower and the separate green rooms. It's nice.
Yeah.
Very nice. But yeah. But then you go to other green rooms, you're like, this isn't a green room.
Yeah,
This is a
just like
closet on the
someone's
side
closet.
of the stage.
Yeah.
Where I get to put some bags.
Yeah. Lost my backpack there. Hope it's there
At
when
the
we come
hall?
back. Yeah. No, I'm just saying, like,
Oh,
when we're
at a
at a
place.
closet type
Mm-hmm.
green room. You're just like, okay.
I like Shuba's green room, but I've been in like two versions of it because I've been in the basement one, but then upstairs they've had it been in green room before too, which is even bigger.
It used to actually, before they renovated downstairs, it used to just be. Were you ever there when it was like literally just like the bones of the building, and you had to like go around pipes to get into the green?
I'm trying to think of
It was
the downstairs?
Yeah.
The pipes? Yeah, I do remember
at
that.
Shuba's. Yeah.
When did they renovate it?
Maybe during the pandemic.
I was
wanna
gonna say I haven't been in the basement one since
Or
like
maybe around either before or after.
2016.
Yeah.
Do they paint over those stuff on the walls?
It's like a nice ass room down there now.
That
It feels
sucks. I
like
wrote
you're at
stuff
like
on
a.
the walls there. I like.
There's a lot of stuff on the walls there.
But they
yeah.
probably went over.
No,
what I
it
had.
is like brightly lit. You feel like you're almost like in like a.
Oh, I liked how
you're
it
in
used
like
to be.
the belly of like a hotel or something.
Oh, it was so
Yeah.
like dingy with the pipes and the brick, and it was like a hot mess.
Yes,
I
that's
used to
what
like
I
that.
like. That's what I was expecting. Then I went down there this most recent time and was just like, what the fuck?
You're like, nice.
Yeah, when we did the Ratboys release show there in August, at the end of August.
I was so mad I
um,
couldn't go to that.
It's okay.
I was so,
sorry.
like, I remember like I was busy or out of town that day, and I was like, what the?
We're playing again at Talia Hall in December.
I'm gonna
If
go
you
to
wanna
that.
Come.
I
Just
you
let
know,
me know.
I got a funny story. I'm gonna put all my friends on blast.
Oh shit!
I was trying to get 6 people together
Stop
so we
pointing
could
at me.
split. I'm pointing at you. I was trying to get 6 people
Yeah.
together so we could split a box seat.
Oh yeah, Talia.
And,
That'd be
yeah,
sick.
And there was like
You'd be heckling
one.
the shit out
Oh,
of
I was
us.
gonna do it with Mikey,
Like,
and we were gonna like throw paper wads at you.
Yeah.
I don't. We're gonna do that.
No,
But we would have definitely like messed with you
Yeah,
guys.
yeah.
Come on. And I think I couldn't get. All my friends really like Ratboys, like because they've been a part of the whole thing.
Sure, yeah, yeah.
And they all got to see them grow and everything.
Mhm.
But like nobody would commit. Everyone would like wanted to do it.
Yeah,
Like, that's a
yeah.
cool idea. I was
So
like,
like, we'll bet you could stay of kind of.
I'm like, well, you have to buy them ahead of time
Well,
because those are
yes,
selling,
yeah,
and
yeah.
they're not much more. It's like $15 more
Uh-huh.
than going to the regular seats.
Yeah, you might as well.
But it's
just-
way cooler.
Yeah, yeah.
And I just couldn't get anybody on board. And like, obviously, I'm not going to justify spending like $400 myself on it. And it just like fell through, and then it sold. Like those seats sold out.
Yeah.
And I was just like,
I think our families brought those.
yeah,
seats.
as they
Yeah,
would. But I wanted to be the person that took your family spot. And your
know.
mom's like, we couldn't get it,
Not to make you
Shawnee.
mad at. Yeah,
And, you're
no,
like-
that
and then you're like, Mom, I don't know who would have done it.
Yeah,
What a
these
dick. And then you look
crazy
up and it's
people.
just me and Mikey
you
and
waving.
I'm trying to think of who else you would know that like it'd just be really funny.
Yeah, that'd be great.
Yeah.
Try it again this year.
Yeah, I guess I could. I'll try it. But yeah, I've seen Ratboys at Thalia twice. You guys like playing there around Christmas. You've done that before.
We've done that last year, and then it was supposed to be around Christmas, but then COVID stopped it because it was remember that just like
Yeah.
general outbreak that happened around Christmas last year.
And it
Or
pushed
2
it.
years ago.
It was 2 years ago.
2 years ago, and
'Cause
then it got
I-
pushed to last spring. I don't know. I don't remember.
I remember
it
getting
got
tickets
pushed.
for it.
It got pushed to
pushed.
the March or April of that next year. So like a couple
Right.
months down the road.
Right.
And then because it was goofy because we like kind of had all these like Christmas themed ideas and we were promoting it like very Christmas themed, and then it ended up being around Easter. And so we just
didn't
kind of
work
had all
out.
this stuff, and we're like, all right, we can't do this. Like we practice like Christmas cover. I forgot what it even was. And then we were like, well, some of us were like, we could play it at the show still. And they were like, it's April. It is like
dude.
truly would make zero sense. So we ended up doing an Easter type song.
Who are you playing with for that show?
For that show was Retirement Party's last show at the time. And
Yes,
then,
it was. I did go to that
Yeah.
because it was hell
yeah.
yeah that was that the one that got moved?
That's the one that got moved. Yeah,
Okay.
that's the only one that I can think of.
Was it that in Rat Tally?
Rat Tally Open? Yeah, it was
Okay.
Rat Tally Retirement Party.
That's
then
how I found them
Ratboys,
because I had them play.
Fuck
DZ
yeah,
Fest.
dude, they are so good.
The last one.
I was so happy when I saw that they were on.
They
the
played because
fest.
and how I found them was that show.
Hell yeah,
I saw that show and was
that's great.
like, this band's dope.
So
I'm
good, so
messaging them tonight, and I did.
Yeah, they're
and
awesome.
it worked. So thanks for hooking that up.
Hell yeah, no problem.
And that's the beautiful thing about going to a show. You like, this band's dope.
Yeah,
Like when you're
If you
an
didn't go
event
out,
promoter and you're
yeah,
setting up a big thing, you start to try to find like what band
would make
hits that
sense. Yeah,
slot.
yeah.
What band hits that itch of like sunset on Saturday night?
Oh,
we need to
yeah.
have an ebb and flow of the
But not
wave.
like a copy of the band
Yeah.
playing, because you don't want to just see
No.
like a different version.
Exactly.
Of what
Exactly.
to go
And,
see.
like
Yeah.
her voice and style and demeanor. I mean, you name it. There's all these things you
Yeah.
take into consideration. But yeah, it happens a lot. See a band like, that's a cool band. I'm gonna reach out to them. Yeah, I do remember that. Well, I'm gonna go to this next one.
Oh yeah.
I'm gonna get some people to
Yeah,
come.
this band Disc is playing.
I know them
From
from
Madison.
Madison. Damn it, I've
Fuckers.
reached
They're
out to
so
them before.
good. Yeah,
Dude,
they're so good. Did they not respond?
I don't remember. No, they've responded. They couldn't do it.
Okay,
I've reached out for a
for
session.
sure,
They just
for
couldn't do
sure.
it because I was
yeah,
like,
there's a lot of members in that band too, so it's like they
Who did I
probably have
talk
to be
to?
on tour
Yeah.
to be like.
That's funny.
Yeah.
I'll reach out to them again. I'll be like, hey, you're in Chicago, seeing
Fuck yeah.
Ratboys play,
Yeah,
come through the
you should.
studio.
Yeah.
I will. That's funny. Man, there's so many bands, and it's like, you don't realize how many bands you know until people start saying them, and you're like I said, Subsonic. You're like, oh.
Yeah.
And I'm like, Disc. Like, oh, it's like, we're nerds. We just
Oh,
know
yeah,
all these
yeah.
indie and
Yeah.
alt and
But if
experimental.
you've like been around, of course, like it's like you.
you look
How
them
many
all
shows
up.
a week do you see or see of happening? It's like
Yeah.
You're
I mean,
bound to, like,
constantly looking for shows to go to.
yeah.
Just scrolling through, I have every link of every venue. Just like, okay, let me check out who's playing here. Maybe I'll go to that show.
Mhm.
It's fun.
Yeah.
You know how long I've been doing this for?
How long this episode?
I'm not gonna tell you. You gotta guess.
Oh shit.
I always make my guest guess. I'm probably annoying people who listen. Like, why is he always making them guess? They don't know.
2 hours and 14 minutes.
2 hours and 52 minutes.
Wow. Okay. Fuck. I was off by longer than I thought.
38 minutes.
Dang. Yeah. I thought I was gonna be like off by like a minute. I'm usually pretty good. Damn.
Do you
Oh yeah.
anything else you want to talk about? Anything you want to plug, promote?
I don't know.
Time to
Yeah,
go
I'm
around.
just like kind of around right now.
You're
I'm,
kind of around.
playing. We have the new Ratboys record out. It's called The Window.
It's a good record.
Thank you very
Oh,
much.
it's probably you guys have like. We were listening to it. I haven't bought it on vinyl yet. It's the only one I don't have. I have every Ratboys record on
Shit,
vinyl.
I should have brought one over for you. I'm sorry.
No, it's okay.
I do have a text documented that says, "Don't bring anything over from you." So
Dang,
I'm just messing.
I
around. No, but you did say that.
I thought you said you have it from like Julia. She's like, don't bring anything there.
No, oh my god.
I was like,
Yeah, the
damn, this
horror.
goes deep.
No, I'm just messing around.
It's
'cause I
okay.
had asked you if you wanted me to bring anything. I didn't know what you wanted
It
me
would
to
have
bring.
been really weird if I was like, hey, bring me like free stuff.
Yeah,
That
like
wouldn't
some
have gone.
apples and like groceries.
Bring me groceries, apple,
No, I'll get you
Drano, and a
record,
vinyl.
Yeah. Drano, yeah.
so I can melt the vinyl. It's the only one I don't have and I want. And I think I didn't
yeah.
get it because I I remembered I couldn't go to the show, and that's where I would have bought it. And now I was like, I just need to order online.
Yeah. Oh, sorry.
So I'm gonna order online. But yeah, all the records have been great.
Thanks.
So I'll self plug for you. Everyone, check out Ratboys.
Oh yeah.
Buy their records, their T-shirts. I have your T-shirts safely folded up in a bin of all the band T-shirts I have.
Glad that was not my teacher's.
Your teacher's T-shirt. I don't really wear band shirts because I have so many that I'd rather they're like works of art to me. I just preserve them.
Yeah.
They're just like in perfect shape, folded in a bin.
I have boxes of them saved. I think I told myself for like a couple of years, I was like, oh, I'll save this for friends' kids. So that way, like when they grow up to a certain age, they'll have like cool T-shirts to wear at school or something. Yeah. And then I had Jake, who drums in Nectar. Jake Mott had a kid a couple years ago, and I think I told him this. I was like, yeah, well, like I, have T-shirts for her for when she grows up to be like a size small or medium or whatever whenever she wants them. And I think Jake just was like, she doesn't want your old T-shirts.
Yeah. It's the
and I was like,
about.
I was like, oh yeah, that makes total sense. They probably like smell and
stink,
are, like,
yellow pit stuff.
Yeah, like, oh, that makes sense.
Who is this band? Single
so
player.
I don't know what
Who
to
is
do
this
them.
band? From 2015.
Oh, I got plenty of those T-shirts. But yeah, I don't know what to do with that shit too. But I keep everything.
I keep them at all too. I don't know what to do with
set lists. I keep flyers.
You've kept all your set lists.
I'll throw it in the bag, and then like whatever I have from tour, like in my pedal bag, I'll like take out and put like, I don't know. Usually it's like on my desk for like a couple months, and then I'm like, okay, I'll finally move this to a box or a folder or something. And now I just have like that and posters from shows and stuff. It's nice to like keep and look back on, but like only for me.
That's
like
the
no
thing.
one
It's
else
like a
wants
corny
this.
scrapbook. Like
it truly is like a scrap. I am a scrapbooker for sure. But
I know I don't know what to do with all this stuff. I have so much stuff. I'm like, what do I do with this?
I have a lot of.
Luckily, a lot of the cool stuff has been like artwork, so I've been able to put up around the house.
Nice.
Yeah,
if it's a nice flyer. Then I ran into this into the situation when I moved where I'm like, oh, I don't know if I hang up a bunch of my own posters, that's like pretty fucking arrogant if someone comes over. It's not at all. I say that and I like pan.
Sean doesn't realize this, but he said it as he looked across 10 DZ Fest posters in my studio. He's just like,
and I was like gritting my teeth. No, but I get nervous that other people will think it is, and it's not, because I love going. The reason I thought of that idea is because of places like you have this hung up, and I like to look at it.
Yeah.
And like if I go to another friend's house, like I'm thinking of our friends in this band Slingshot Dakota, they have this beautiful wall of all these, framed photos of flyers and stuff and shows that they've played. And I'm like, this is so fucking cool. It's like almost like a museum for this person that I'm staying with or crashing with, and I get to like ask them questions about it's just nice. It's a conversation starter. It's cool to look at. It's cool to document. But then I get same fucking thing we talked about at the beginning of this, where it's like I get worried about like, oh, someone's gonna think this is really like, I don't know, self-righteous or something. If I hang up it's like
they won't.
It's like hanging up photos of yourself or something in a way, but it's not really.
No, it's not. That's apples and oranges. But photos of yourself, I'd be like, what? Why do you have 13 photos of yourself on the wall?
But that's what I equate it to. But I know it's not equal.
Yeah, it's not.
But like, there's something in my mind that's
you didn't even make the posters. It probably shows you played.
Oh my god, no, I could not make those posters. And I, for the record, have all these things hung up in my house,
and
but
they're
it's
everywhere.
just a dilemma that I have. Yeah, it's just like I get worried about it sometimes, and I'm like, should I just switch this out with other stuff?
It's totally cool until you get into photos.
Yeah, photos of yourself would be fucking weird.
Yeah, photos are like.
Right?
I think I have one photo of myself.
Are there other people in the photo though?
It's like it's like a goofy photo.
Okay.
Like an 8th grade
guy.
That's
like there's a
that's
story
what I'm gonna take seriously.
Yeah,
it's like hidden. It's like slanted off axis, like on my shelf.
It's not like, oh, I look fucking good in this picture.
No, I'm in photos
weird.
with other people in all my photos, Polaroids and stuff. Yeah,
of course. Yeah.
No, the poster thing. It's like I've seen other people do it.
Yeah.
And the only time I have a hard time is T-shirts. Like if you were walking around wearing Ratboys t-shirts?
That is for some reason weird, but I just had a discussion about this we have a Discord for people who follow like Ratboys stuff. It happened during the pandemic.
Yeah.
And people in there were talking about wearing. There's people coming to the show and they're like, "Is it weird if I wear a Ratboys shirt to the show?" And it started this discussion with all these people.
Why would that be weird? Isn't that what people do?
Wearing, yes, yeah, but it was getting into like wearing a band's t-shirt to their show, and I'm like, that's cool. I think
Why
that's
wouldn't
cool.
you do that?
And that they were getting nervous about the same way I'm talking about getting nervous about hanging out photos of like tours that I've been on and stuff. Where I think they were just getting like
Kind of thinking out loud.
self-conscious and thinking out loud. Yes.
Yeah.
But I piped in, and other people did as well that were like, no, that's cool, or like maybe wear like a band adjacent to that band. That way you can like, of course everyone's here to see this band, but like then it's like, oh, but you also like that band.
Dude,
That's
we're
cool.
overthinking that.
I know
They
so
gotta
much,
be
but that's
young.
I'm giving
They
that
gotta
as
be
an
so young,
example
like,
where it's like
should I
it's
wear
like
a
so
Ratboys
crazy.
shirt to the Ratboys
yeah.
shirt? It's like,
Just do whatever you want.
yeah, it's true if you want.
Probably
Who
gonna have a
cares?
coat out.
Who cares? Yeah,
Or-
probably could be cold.
yeah.
It is
You're gonna be
strange when
so
you do.
cold
Like
at
I have
this
all these
show.
DZ shirts.
Yeah.
I probably have 50 different
Mm-hmm.
DZ shirts from over the years, and I never wear them because I'm like, I mean, I have one I'll wear once in a while
Yeah.
because it's really cool and it's white, but I rarely wear it. I'm like, I don't know what to do with these. Like,
I have
it's
pretty
my
much
own thing.
every T-shirt from every band that I've been in. Like
Mhm.
unless I like forgot to grab it and they sold out at a show or something, or like the end of a tour. I mean, or it was like a before my time Ratboys shirt or something. I might not have it, but like we purposely print them on T-shirts that we would be comfortable wearing as well.
Yeah.
Like the type,
Mhm.
like
The Printer's Devil one is
it Comfort Colors?
it's like a purple and reddish.
Oh yeah, yes, I know what you're talking about.
That one's
yeah.
really comfortable with like a kind of like a
Yeah.
tan.
So yeah, but long story short, with the comfortable stuff, I just wear it to bed. That's my hack. Is just wear your own band T-shirts to bed because no one's gonna see you,
No
but
one-
you can still put it to use, and you still like,
the NSA knows.
and there's still reason to have it without. Like you're saying, I have this T-shirt, but I don't wear it, so what do I have it for? Kind of
Right.
thing. It's like you still get use out of it by wearing it to bed.
I don't wear anything to. Well,
What the fuck?
I like to sleep in my underwear. It's hot out there. I get hot.
Oh,
All winter.
you looked at the camera when you said that.
It's hot out there. No, all year
Not
round.
that.
I need to be swift where I move around my house.
yeah,
you
for
know,
sure.
Just
I
in case
hear
there's
you.
a
Yeah,
fire,
yeah.
you know. No, I just run hot. I'm always hot.
If there was a fire, would you throw on clothes to go outside? I've thought
No.
about that before.
I
like
would
if there was
start saving all my priceless crap around the house that are one-off things
Yeah.
that people gave to me as gifts.
It's like I've thought about that. Like, oh, if I'm in the shower and there's a fire right now, am I just gonna run outside naked?
Yeah. Have a reason to be naked. It's great.
Sure.
You have
Or would I be
3
so
minutes.
worried
What
that
do you
I
grab?
clothes?
He left his baby photos and his money,
yeah.
but he grabbed clothes. I guess expensive
so he wouldn't
clothes,
be
right?
embarrassed for 5 seconds.
2 birds, 1 stone. Expensive
no, I have no
clothes.
expensive clothes. I have one. No, I have 2 pairs of jeans now.
You have 3 minutes at your place right now. What do you grab?
Is the most expensive stuff probably first.
What would they be?
Like guitars and laptops.
God, it's
But
such a
that's
dilemma.
so. I don't know.
I
I
don't know
guess
what to
I
grab.
would grab like my personal stuff. I wouldn't grab like my work laptop. I'd grab guitars. Obviously the living things that are in there.
like plants.
Yeah, it's like dogs and girlfriends.
My plants can die.
But yeah, if I had things like I feel like we're approaching this like it's that shopping game. Where it's like a fun thing. Yeah.
Supermarket sweep. Remember
Like
that?
if your house was on fire, what would you
Was that the
grab?
name of the game? Supermarket sweep?
Something like that.
Where you have to like
yeah.
try to get a bunch of stuff
Yes,
to be like
You
either
had,
most
like,
expensive or be within the price range that they told you.
I don't know if I just thought of it as like you get to grab whatever you want in the store for a minute, like have at it. I don't know if there was
That's
like
not
there
how the
wasn't a
game
goal.
went.
There was a goal.
No,
Okay.
the goal was either you had to. They told you like $500,
Okay.
and there was no price tags.
Oh, so
and
you had to. It was like
you had to-
Price is Right, but
yeah,
speed
try to get it
style?
with
Okay.
stuff. It's
I
either
didn't know
that.
Okay.
I don't know which one it is. It's either that, or you have like 1 minute to get the most expensive stuff in your cart.
Okay. I'm talking Nickelodeon type
Oh, I'm
shit.
talking
where it's
PAX
like,
TV,
yeah,
supermarket
yeah.
sweeps,
I'm
like
talking,
$19.99.
Kids go fucking crazy. You're in a candy store.
Okay, this
and
is
it's
not
so
what I was
free.
talking about. We're not talking about the same.
Either way, it's fun.
This is what happens when
Yeah.
you're 3 hours and 30
Yeah, I'm
minutes
sorry.
into this.
I keep asking you questions.
So you're saving your animals.
Yeah, absolutely.
I don't have any
and,
animals, but
guitars,
just gear,
and,
computer stuff.
Yeah.
3 minutes.
Living things, expensive things.
Doesn't it suck though when you get to that part where you have to decide between
What can I hold?
like baby photos or family photos or something?
Oh. Well, yeah.
I have all my home videos and baby photos. Like I have everything.
That'd be nice. Yeah. Maybe if there's a system where you could toss one thing outside and like a
out the window.
like pillows or something, and then try to land some stuff on the pillows. Also, it depends on how high up you are.
Yeah.
That's a big factor.
And like, where's the fire? Because if the fire's upstairs,
yeah.
I can go back through this gangway and start grabbing this stuff and running out to the yard
Yes,
while the
the
fire's
layout
above
of your
me.
house is also a factor in this.
So I know what I'm doing.
Yeah.
Now it'd be hard with like I have some priceless artwork, like family, like my grandma's
yeah.
last painting
Yeah,
she ever made and stuff.
I would grab that first. Yeah.
Like there's stuff
I'd
you
come to your
cannot
house
replace.
and grab that first. Yeah.
It's a priceless painting, but it's so dope.
Yeah.
And it's her last painting, and it was of the DZ.
Hell yeah.
And she painted for 70 years.
Fuck, that is a beautiful.
She made
thing to have.
thousands of paintings. She'd always make them for like gifts for like
Yeah.
people. But her last one she finished was of the DZ.
Yeah. Damn.
She was like 82,
That is so sick.
81. Yeah.
Holy shit.
Yeah, it's
you have
upstairs.
to grab that first.
Yeah, stuff like that. Stuff like
Yeah.
that. We're like, I don't know what to do with this.
Everything else is like replaceable.
There's some things that are replaceable, yeah.
Yeah.
But the one off
Not
any of the
everything else, but
DZ
you know,
custom
yeah.
artwork, I'm like I have to grab. Like you can't.
Mhm.
Like these are all JPEG. I have these.
Yeah,
I
you
can just
could
print them again.
Print them again.
Doesn't really
yeah,
matter, but
yeah.
yeah. Guitar. I would definitely save the guitars and the
Yeah.
amps. I would try roll them out.
Throw them out the window.
I try. I mean, it's funny about these amps. The twin reverb and the Music Man and that hierarchy.
Yeah.
You've used those before.
Mhm.
They've been either through DZ Fest, into evenings, or
Oh, yeah.
sessions. The main amps that have been around since
Yeah,
2011.
I remember
so.
that cab specifically.
Yeah, that one, and then the
Mhm.
Music Man, the twin, whoever was playing guitar, definitely went through them.
Oh yeah.
Well, Sean, anything else you want to
Um,
promote before we end?
Ratboys.
Jupiter Styles.
Jupiter Styles. If you want to listen to it, it's there. Filling in for Sincere Engineer, this band from Chicago,
cool.
soon, so that'll be fun.
What are you playing with them?
Bass again.
Awesome.
And
They're awesome.
Yeah, they're great.
Cool.
Read the news and then
Read the news.
read the news
PSA
just in
announcement.
general.
Read
Yeah,
the news.
that's my PSA announcement. And then
Be
don't-
nice.
Don't email the person that.
I was just gonna.
wrote the-
I was literally saying we thought the same thing. Be nice to people,
Yeah,
specifically
be nice
those who
to
write
everybody.
articles.
Yeah,
They are not the article. They just wrote it.
yeah, they're a microphone. You
Yep.
don't get mad at the microphone.
Dang, that's deep.
Mic
Sean, this
drop.
was fun. Thank you for
Thank you for having
coming here and chatting with me for a couple hours.
Yeah, it's a blast.
Like I started out with, you were you were the first person I worked with that I did not know. So thanks for giving me a chance 10 years and 4 months ago.
Wow, fuck.
It's crazy.
Yeah, thank you for having me. It was good to see you.
Yeah, it was great to
again.
see
It's
you.
good to hang out.
Yeah, we've
yeah.
been around each other, worked in some capacity many times over
Yeah.
10 years.
But it's tough, like we were talking about, with just like with the me and Molly running past each other every time on tour and stuff.
Yeah.
It's like we got a lot of shit going on.
Life happens.
so,
When you're
yeah.
coming back though, we'll go to a game.
Okay,
We'll be
down.
goofy and go to a game.
down. Run out of the court.
Yeah, we'll shoot a 3. We'll shoot a 3 for a Bulls game.
Oh yeah,
And
sounds
then
good.
I'll be out that Ratboys show. I'm excited.
Oh yeah, that'd be
With
awesome.
Disc from Madison,
Yeah.
Ratboys, and anybody else? play?
No, it's just us.
Two.
Us two.
My
yeah.
favorite
It's-
early
yeah,
shows.
it's
Get
great.
out. I want to
Oh,
be
yeah,
in bed
get
by
it out.
10:30. Let's go.
Yeah.
All right. Thank you, everyone, for listening. And check out, again, Sean's music, Jupiter Styles, Ratboys, and check them out with Sincere Engineers soon.
Oh yeah.
And then get tickets for Ratboys at Dahlia Hall at the end of December, right?
Yes.
Awesome.
So-
Cool. Thank you. Ciao. Peace.